Why would they call you?
Because they know I'm your contact. What were you thinking?
I was doing yard work.
You don't do yard work with a charger.
Yeah, I think you can.
Just trying to kill everything? Do you really think your neighbor... It's not a dirt track.
Charger
As in 1969.
Oh, okay. Like a car.
Yeah.
Yard work.
Uh-huh.
With a General Lee. Did you really think I was going to make your neighbors happy?
I did it between noon and 3. I knew Greg Ellis would be playing, so it wasn't going to bother him.
I don't know. He might have had family there watching.
I don't know. Nobody could really see in my backyard, short of 2 neighbors. Greg Ellis was out playing. So who's going to call the HOA? And again, why didn't they just call me?
I don't even know if they have your number.
Oh, yeah.
That's not exactly a quiet car.
Yeah, if people couldn't necessarily see it, they could sure hear it.
I wasn't out there that long. I was just running over ant beds and spreading pre-emergent. And you always told me in the past that if it was related to yard work, I could get away with motorized vehicles in the backyard.
I wasn't referring to something with a V8 in it or Hemi, whatever.
You never said anything about cubic displacement.
You can't drive your car.
Did it say anything in the HOA agreement that I couldn't do yard work in the back with motorized vehicles?
Yeah, probably there's something about...
You sound a little iffy on this one.
Well, you can't drive a car in your backyard.
Normally you would say that before somebody did it. Obviously I can.
So did you have attachments or anything on the back?
No, I just throwing it out the window.
Okay.
The pre-emergent. The ant beds I was just running over. Fire ants are nasty.
You think you're going to kill them by running them over?
Just tell the HOA I was spreading Amdro.
With your General Lee.
The big Amdro 500.
And didn't you just get the thing repainted all nice and stuff?
It's paint. It could hold up to dirt. I wasn't out there more than 15 minutes. What did the HOA say? And the police didn't come out. So obviously there's no criminal issues.
I would imagine that someone called, there might have been some kind of noise violation.
It's during the day.
You still can't just go driving your car in your backyard.
I've heard you say that 3 or 4 different times. You haven't told me why yet.
You're not supposed to drive your car in your backyard.
You just told me that. That'll be the 5th time. You going to tell me why?
It's against the rules.
It didn't say anywhere in there, and obviously it's not against the law because the cops didn't come out for a change.
What's wrong with the lawnmower? How come you couldn't do that on the lawnmower?
I didn't have that just painted.
Oh. So you're going to show it off in your backyard.
And I sent you the pictures, Trey, just so... Here's what I did this weekend. And then you get pissy.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
I got that. This will be 6 times you've told me. So far, you haven't said why. Dan, are those the pictures?
Yeah.
You want to see?
Sure, yeah.
You're supposed to do yard work with things that actually are for yard work. Lawnmowers. Maybe even a, little tractor.
All right. There's a car next to the swimming pool. There it is, along the fence line.
How fast did you get it going?
You can't get going that fast. Backyard's not that big.
I think it's big enough to get it going probably 20, 30 miles an hour.
Probably so. There are too many turns, though. Here's the one taking out some ant beds.
Nice. Looks like you may have some cool drift going.
Russ Martin drift in the backyard.
at least you got it done in a I guess, in a speedy fashion.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking I had to do yard work.
That's why you have that
And I also wanted to drive to General Lee, and I was trying to figure out how to budget my time. So?
You do yard work with stuff meant for the yard, not your car.
I got it all done.
By killing the grass?
The grass is already dead. I'm just throwing out pre-emergent. I was killing ant beds. Are we just stupid?
God, there's like 2 or 3. Are those ant beds, right, the ones you didn't get?
Yeah, those popped up. Let me see that one.
Oh, my God. They must be 4 inches tall.
And those popped up in the course of a couple of days. Mm-hmm. What did those used to be? Because I think I've even tried Amdro with some of those, and they just bring it back to me. We don't want this.
Yeah, they're an absolute nightmare to kill.
Well, what kind of ants are those?
Fire.
Well, I've used Amdro on different fire ant beds before, and it seemed to wipe them out. The Amdro doesn't seem to work on these. That's why I got out the General Lee. Ran the Amdro 500. I hate ants.
Not nearly as much as they hate you now. Or the color orange.
Well, at least you didn't use the gasoline on them.
No, I set part of the yard on fire with that one.
Yeah,
but it was funny. The last time I used gasoline, I poked a big hole in one of the ant beds, poured maybe a cup of gasoline in there, lit it, and the poof that came out was quite impressive, along with the ants. And they'll actually run when they're on fire.
I swear to God, I wish sometimes I could live inside your brain when these ideas strike you. Because I know it would literally be like a light bulb going off inside your head.
Have you ever been drunk?
Oh, yeah.
Then you lived there. Because that's normally when I come up with some of these.
Fair point. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Don't do that.
All right, fine.
It's your backyard. You should be allowed to do whatever you want.
That's the biggest thing. I pay for that entire backyard. I got a fenced off area. Most people can't see back there. What do I care what the HOA says? And again, I waited until the Cowboys were playing, so Greg Ellis was gone.
So kind.
Well, it's hot in here. Go crank the air down.
You have people around you that have a...
I put up with their noise. They got swing sets. They got kids that are out there nonstop at a lot higher decibel level than anything that General Lee's going to put off. And I was only out there for 15, maybe 20 minutes.
I was going to say, what would be the difference, I mean, besides horsepower, as far as, like decibel level, what you're doing in the backyard in the General Lee versus someone's high-powered lawnmower?
Yeah. That engine's about the same as a Tecumseh. 4 or 5 horsepower engine.
What? What do you have that thing souped up to now?
I don't know. I don't build them. I just kill ants with them.
You're not...
You do have a solid point. If you can kill ants with 5 horses, why not 500?
He's right.
Your neighbors have certain expectations.
Well, they expected wrong.
Well, no, the HOA... Why do you do this?
I didn't know that the HOA was going to call.
Certainly somewhere in your mind.
I didn't see anybody out. I knew Ellis was out playing, and I wasn't out there really that long, just long enough to get the pictures. I don't get why anybody really called. I don't know why you're having a fit. You don't live there. Ain't your house.
Because I don't want to see you start having a problem with the HOA. They can make your life quite miserable.
They haven't been an issue up till now.
Well, this is the first time you've taken your General Lee and treated your backyard like a dirt track.
Should I use the Batmobile? I'm just trying to figure out if it shows wrong TV car.
You would actually get a lot more area covered with the Batmobile since it's longer.
And the flame.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, I think, all things considered, for the art of driving your car in your backyard in a nice neighborhood. No, I think the General Lee was the right choice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Especially considering it was supposed to be a race car, dirt track.
Did you have to call him back, or did you just say you would handle it?
I told them I would discuss it with you, and it shouldn't be an issue in the future.
Okay.
Now, Trey, hypothetically, if you lived next door to Russ, say you lived in Greg Ellis's house.
Okay.
And you just happened to be outside seeing your wacky neighbor running around his backyard in a General Lee replica. Would you call the HOA, or would you want to go over there and say, hey, what are you doing?
You're the coolest neighbor yet.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would probably call the HOA and say, could you please talk to the...
I gotta tell you, whoever called probably called the police first. They told them to get screwed, and that's why they called the HOA, because they had no other recourse. What I did wasn't illegal. My yard, my property, my car, my aunt's.
Yeah, see, I would understand, a huge hubbub being made about if you're doing it in other people's yards, but it's yours. Is there anything in the HOA that says specifically he can't take his car in the backyard?
This is one of those issues where the HOA has a
See, I know this segment really isn't that funny, but watching Trey lock up is the only enjoyment I get out of this.
The HOA has a lot of latitude in what they can deem appropriate and inappropriate. It doesn't have to be specifically written down that you're not supposed to drive your car in your backyard.
Although it might be now.
Yes, there might be an amendment coming soon, but...
For those who weren't aware previously.
Would they name that after me? That'd be nice.
That's how you know you've made it.
Yeah.
The Russ Martin amendment, you can't drive a car in your backyard.
Yeah, maybe something a little fancier, but that's a good place.
A little more legalese to it.
If you will.
Okay.
Ask them if they do that, and I'll stop doing it. All right. Anything else before we get started? Has anybody talked to JD after getting his ass dug in?
I have not, no. I figured he was still pretty groggy from anesthesia and all that, so I figured best to leave him alone.
Who knows his cell number?
I can go get it.
Do you have it, Clem?
Yes. He should be fine. I think he had it
Should have been about 10:30.
Yeah.
Hurry up. I'm dialing. The area code.
817.
You sure it's right? Probably setting up a yard sale after all the crap they found. What are we going to do with all these displaced people?
Call FEMA.
Hello?
Joy?
Yes.
It's Russ. How was John's butt thing?
Oh, he's sound asleep right now. Everything was fine. The nurse was teasing quite a bit, but it's all right.
They didn't find nothing?
No, nothing bad.
What they find it was good.
Hey, look at this.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I wanted one of those as a kid.
No, everything's fine, and he's asleep, and there wasn't nothing. Everything's good, so
Huh?
that's a good thing.
You don't want to wake him up?
If you'd like me to have him call you as soon as he wakes up, I will.
Wouldn't he wake up as soon as you shook him?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. See, because whenever you wiggle him, he farts.
Push him around, please.
No. He had so much air in his tummy. I gave him a hug, and he couldn't help himself.
Go hug him, damn it.
No.
Please.
I'm trying not to laugh. It's really funny.
Love you too.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I'll have him call you.
All right. Thank you.
It's the smell of passion, baby.
I forgot about that. They have to
Smell of sex.
What? They have to pump a bunch of air in when they're doing it. So yeah.
What's the air for? Just to expand his colon?
Yeah. I've actually heard before, the last time you guys had brought this up, people had said that most of the times they will not let the patient leave until they've booted.
That's true.
All right. I just felt bad for the nurse has to stand in there and wait on it. All right, you're clear to go.
Yeah, because I actually...
They're not going to check you out. They're not going to discharge you until you actually float an air biscuit.
I literally swear to God...
Hadn't heard that before, had you?
We'll stand here and we'll wait. All right, you can go.
I was picking Mom up from having an endoscopy, and the person next to her in the recovery room had just had a colonoscopy, and literally the nurse was saying, now you can't go until you toot, honey. And like 5 minutes later, you just hear him rip. Just...
So this guy was on the other side of the curtain?
Yeah, I mean, like in the surgery center.
Can't they put that guy in his own room? Because that's kind of evil to stick him in like a multi-room thing.
No, in the surgery centers, they're all just little...
They're clumped together.
Yeah.
With
screens.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Anything else before we get to news?
Yeah, if you want to have a couple of pieces of audio. One is Scott Weiland at the AMAs last night. He was introducing Pink.
Okay. What about it?
Really just give it a solid listen and see if you hear anything.
Where am I looking on your flash drive?
Actually, it's on JD's flash drive. It is cut number 93.
Okay.
He sounds a little off.
Well, if he sounds off, he was sober.
In that case, he was dead on.
All right.
It's amazing. Every time our next performer releases another album, it's her best yet. Then she puts out...
Why would anybody depend on him for anything at any time, for any reason? You've got, who was it, Velvet Revolver?
Yes.
Acted stunned when they had to kick him out of the band.
Because he does so good, though.
He doesn't do good for long. Obviously, whatever he's on, what's he on?
He's on all sorts of depressants and stuff like that. I think it's more like, kind of like a downers. I'm not saying it's heroin, but it's something kind of like downers and stuff.
Okay. Addicted to something, and he's not going to give it up, and he loses band after band. was it STP?
Yes.
Stone Temple Pilots, Velvet Revolver. Can't do anything on his own as far as a solo project. Why would they think he'd be able to introduce somebody at a live awards show?
I don't know, because when he's good, when he's off and he's sober, he is fantastic.
That's still a crapshoot.
Yeah.
You want somebody who's going to be consistent.
Yeah, he's not as bad as some, but...
Maybe they took the angle of, since it is a crapshoot, let's throw him up there and see what happens. If he does really well, and he's sober, he does really well. If he's not, then this gets played for the rest of the week.
Yeah, you're going to get more for your PR dollar if he's plowed.
It's amazing. Every time our next performer releases another album, it's her best yet. Then she puts out another album, and it's even better. That's true of her latest CD, Funhouse.
Who's he introducing?
Pink.
Oh.
An album
that plays.
Spin.
Album with music.
album that is worth its weight in gold. The first single from that album went to #1, and tonight she's going to introduce the follow-up. Performing sober.
No.
Yeah.
That's the name of the song?
It happens to be the name of the song. It just also happens to be very ironic.
And tonight she's going to introduce the follow-up. Performing sober.
Won't be.
Not this guy. Here is one of the great artists.
Yeah, one of the Go-Go's.
Of our time, Pink.
Mate. No, he didn't make it. He finished. Was that the only thing that they let him introduce?
Yeah, unfortunately. Because if it were me, after seeing that,
I made him the MC.
Absolutely. I admit, Jimmy Kimmel, you're very funny and all, but you're going to have a co-host the rest of the night.
Why? Well, this was what award show? Music?
American Music Awards.
Anybody I know win anything?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Do you know who Chris Brown is?
No.
Then no.
Is he in a band?
He's just a R&B rap performer.
Oh.
He was one that came away with the biggest awards. Although, actually, no, Kanye West did actually win a couple of awards last night.
I saw one of the stories about Kanye. I don't know what he got. He just said he walked away with a couple of awards. Mm-hmm. And I think he said he wanted to be the... He appreciated people because they accepted him for trying to break new boundaries, piercing the envelope, and he wants to be Elvis.
Yeah, you got that pretty close. The big story is that for once Kanye West didn't leave an award show empty-handed and irritated. Kanye won twice last night, once for favorite male rap hip-hop artist and once for favorite rap hip-hop album. After his first win, Kanye said, "I'd like to thank everyone who accepted me trying to break new boundaries in music. It's our responsibility as musicians to keep pushing each other. We will be the new Beatles, the new Hendrix. I want to be Elvis."
Oh, my God.
Oh, you're going to be L something. Not this. Chloe, I don't really know that much about his music. I just know I don't like him because he's always whining. He's never won anything. Is his music any different than mainstream stuff?
No, it's not. And that's what the weird thing is. P. Diddy is far more talented than he is. He takes music and produces it and puts it together better than Kanye West does.
And he wins awards?
Wins all these awards. It just that thing he takes, songs that he, takes samples and does, underlining songs from other artists and stuff. And he does a creative collaboration. But it's not any more special than a lot of other people do.
Does Kanye do any sampling?
Yes. He does some songs where the whole song is lying underneath him is someone else's song.
Because that's groundbreaking.
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah, you're going to take somebody else's work. You're going to change the words. But you're still taking the melody, which really is the most important part, and you're going to have that as your heritage. That's what's going to make you the next Elvis.
Yeah. And it's good stuff. I love it. Hate him. Love his music. But, yeah, there's nothing groundbreaking about Kanye West.
Yeah. Well, and it's a standard, celebrity hype kind of thing. Usually celebrities buy into their own hype. In his case, he creates his own hype and then buys into it himself.
That's a pretty astute evaluation of he's doing his own mental circle jerk.
Exactly.
All right, we have time for news? Yes. Okay. All right, 3:33, Dan O'Malley's here with news.
Thank you, Russ. Today is Monday, November 24th, 2008. Birthdays today. Katherine Heigl from Grey's Anatomy turns 30. Colin Hanks, son of Tom Hanks, turns 31. Denise Crosby turns 51. She was Bing's granddaughter and Tasha Yar on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
She was a gash. I couldn't stand her on the Star Trek TNG. Couldn't act. Skanky looking. I think she actually ended up posing nude in Playboy.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time remembering her face.
Did you ever see 48 Hours?
Yes.
You know the scene where Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy go into the room, a couple of chicks, to roust them?
Ooh, yeah.
And the chick that hits Eddie with the bat?
Okay, yeah.
That's her.
Okay, gotcha.
Really bad set of cans.
Have you seen them personally, or just...
She posed nude in Playboy.
Well, I didn't...
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's not an unfair question to you.
No, I understand. Yeah.
Also celebrating birthdays today. Dwight Schultz, also known as Murdoch, on the A-Team, turned 61. Pete Best turned 67. And Oscar Robertson turned 70, former NBA point guard.
Is Pete Best still alive?
I believe so.
I'd have been suicidal all through the 60s. You get kicked out of the Beatles. You know who we're talking about, Trey?
Oh, okay. No, I do.
The drummer before Ringo Starr. Get kicked out. I think it was the early 60s. They picked up Ringo, and then they started their North American tour. And he's left holding his stick.
Which really is the great, just, oops of all time, because here he was perfectly positioned to be drummer of the Beatles. He gets replaced, gets the opposite end of everything great, and then Ringo Starr hits the damn lottery.
I've never really looked into it because I don't care that much about the Beatles, but I don't remember why they let him go. They just said, he's out. They went and got Ringo, and then he's got to sit there and watch them be absolutely enormous in this country. Even over the point that John Lennon said, obviously we're bigger than Jesus.
Oh, God. Oh, and all the money. I mean, Paul McCartney just lost more in a divorce than that guy has probably ever even dreamed about.
Yeah, actually, who's the chick that Paul McCartney was married to?
Heather Mills.
Yeah. She made more money off the Beatles than Pete Best did. That's why I asked if he was still alive. I can't imagine being in a group, band, whatever, getting kicked out and then just watching the meteoric rise. And then looked at as one of the biggest bands in history.
If not the biggest.
And Yoko Ono still made more money than he did, the Beatles.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of, you mentioned the Jesus comment. Back in the day, apparently the Catholic Church has actually discovered the Beatles, at least according to a write-up in the official Vatican newspaper, which is overseen by the Roman Catholic Church. Their praise of the Beatles came in the form of an article celebrating the 40th anniversary of the release of the White Album. They said, today recordings seem above all to be standardized and stereotyped, falling well short of the creativity of the Beatles. The talent of John Lennon and the other Beatles gave us some of the best pages in modern pop music.
Well, also, what John Lennon meant was the absurdity of the way the populace would gather around a band, as opposed to possibly our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, exactly. And so you might be thinking, well, why doesn't the church remember when John said that the Beatles were bigger than Jesus?
Why don't you remember all those different cases of pedophilia?
No. Over here. Here.
No.
Nothing to see right here. We're talking about the Beatles.
Very gracious of them and magnanimous. To finally overlook John Lennon's comment about one thing that he meant innocuously, but you still have these other things going on where they're reshuffling priests.
Yeah, but they were also so kind as to forgive him for it, saying John's phrase provoked deep indignation at the time, but sounds today like a quip from a young man from the English working class overtaken by unexpected success.
It's exactly what it was. There was no reason to... You had a lot of stations stop playing the Beatles for a long time.
It's amazing. The Catholic Church is not known for being timely. I mean, it wasn't until the mid-'90s they finally said, sorry for turning our back on the Jews and the whole Holocaust thing.
They apologized for that?
Yeah, but it wasn't until Pope John Paul did it. I think it was
what?
Pope John Paul II.
John Paul Papa. Granddaddy JP.
What are you on?
None.
Whatever it is, either not enough or you stop.
Okay.
Well, what are you on?
I'm not really on anything.
Well, if you just said John Paul Poo.
I think my Adderall is just kicking in.
All right, time for a downer trip.
Do we need a break?
God.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. We're back to the Russ Martin Show.
All right, go ahead, Dan.
All right, this first check of traffic is brought to us by Chicken Express. Tarrant County is actually not looking too bad right now. In Dallas, however, I-30 westbound at Ackerd Street, you have a vehicle on fire, and that's got everything blocked up down there. Staying in Dallas, Woodall Rogers westbound between Field and I-35, you have road construction still going on, and that actually has the left center lane blocked right where the far left lane is permanently blocked. And also in Dallas, 635 eastbound, right before you get to Hillcrest Road, there was an accident there that has just now been cleared, bringing things up for the afternoon home. There's your first check of traffic. I'm Dan O'Malley on the Russ Martin Show.
I would forget. Here it comes to your weather, then.
This week actually looks pretty nice all the way through up until Thanksgiving. We're expecting some light showers. Friday could get some scattered showers as well. Tonight's going to be mostly clear. Tomorrow clear as well, and partly cloudy Wednesday. Right now, it's 63 degrees at Live 105.3.
Do you prefer the digital JD for the weather, or you like running across?
That's really up to you.
Okay. I spaced the fact he wasn't going to be here today. Trey, this email, are these actually excerpts from the book or just from something the listener extrapolated? This
I think it's like, I don't want to say excerpts, but it's like a description of...
You ever heard of the book?
I have not.
I recall last week you were saying there needed to be a book available for women so that they can better communicate with men since we are such simple creatures. The moment you mentioned this on the air, I knew there was one, but I spent 2 hours on Borders reading the thing. However, I couldn't remember it until now. It's called Men, Love, and Sex, the Complete User's Guide for Women. Your reputation for making people feel like idiots on the air is paramount, so I felt it was necessary to do some digging and pass along this via email. some things in the book say this, not... Really, the whole book needs to be just this first entry. Say this, not that. Located all over the book are small inserts advising women on how not to speak in their vagaries.
Yeah.
But how to speak to a male in a direct way that gets the point across and moves us to action. That's all that needs to be in the book. Don't say what you feel. Say what you mean. That's going to... Was that on the hotline?
That's JD.
Oh. Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Oh, man. Recovered from having something shoved up my ass. I gotta be careful what I say because I'm real groggy.
You ever bump ball sacks with a man?
Yeah, why?
Okay. Have you ever had gay sex?
Have I had gay sex?
Yeah.
No, well, bye.
Okay.
Not real gay.
You actually ever touch another man's weenie?
Of course.
Okay. Are there any issues on your taxes that you filed last year that you think you're worried about?
No, I'm pretty good there.
Oh,
Why are you asking me all this?
Because now's going to be the time I'm going to get all these covered. You sleep with my ex-girlfriend in 1990?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, this stuff, I tell you, they give you, it knocks you out. You feel like a deer that got hit by a truck when you wake up.
Do you feel bad for punching Russ back in the late 80s in front of Starplex?
No.
You never know.
I do. How long are you going to have this groggy feeling?
Probably the rest of the day.
So I'll be able to come over after the show and finish my questioning?
No.
Is there anything you need?
No, we're good, man. It's just the prep, and this thing is horrible. You take this awful solution, and you literally poop until it's clear. I saved you some. I'll bring it in tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like pooping white Jello.
Why is it you can go to Florida, Mexico, different resorts? You never bring me anything from that, but you have your ass dug in, and you're going to bring me something now.
Yeah, this is cool. Anybody can bring a T-shirt and bring you clear poop.
Now, when you say clear, you mean...
It's like water, clear, but it's poop.
It's firm?
It's kind of Jello-ish. It's like completely clear Jello. Melted, it's obviously kind of thing weird. But the actual process was only about an hour, so it wasn't too bad.
Well, you're out probably 20, 30 minutes leading up to that, so what do you care how long it is?
Yeah, you really don't have a clue. In fact, when I woke up, I didn't think it was done yet. So
they find anything?
I found a couple of polyps, yeah. They clipped off. They burn them off right there, and they go send them for a biopsy. I know that sounds real appealing. Sorry.
Well... That's why they're in there. You're over 50. There's going to be something. Just because it's a polyp doesn't mean it's anything other than friendly.
Yeah, it could be a friendly polyp. And I also have some real nice color pictures of my intestines I'm bringing in. They took pictures.
Did they make you fart before you left?
I've been farting all day.
Oh.
These are the best ones ever, too. They don't stink because there's nothing in there. But, I had one that went like 15, 20 seconds a while ago. It just went... I think it actually took a breath.
What were the meds you were having to take Sunday to clear yourself out?
What is it called? Phosphor something. You can buy it at Walmart, actually.
Is that the red cherry stuff you had before?
No, this is much worse. This is that on steroids. Because, man, not 20 minutes until you cannot step away from the bathroom. You cannot step away from the bathroom. It gives you no indication at all. You're just sitting there, and suddenly, there it comes.
No push, no little urge, no tinglies. It just comes out.
It just comes. And I had to run 3 pair of pants yesterday. I didn't ever leave the house. This is the worst crap ever. You ever want to torture somebody, and you can buy it at Walmart. It's phosphor something.
Yeah,
it's made by fleas, the enema people.
If you want to torture anybody, I don't know if that's something you're into. Are you going to be back tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I'll be fine. I feel like I've been trained because I have.
How's your booho feel?
I didn't, I really thought it'd be sore, but there's nothing in there.
Stick your finger in it.
No. I already had enough stuff in my ass today.
Okay. Might be something in there for you.
It was embarrassing, too, because the doctor comes in, he's fine, and the nurse comes in, and she's hot. And so, oh, great. Cussing my old man ass.
How do they position you? You lay on your stomach, they hang you by your feet, what do they do?
No, you lay on your side, and kind of not quite the fetal position, but with your legs bent up. And then the next thing you know, boom, you're in recovery.
And don't they pump your ass full of air?
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm still farting.
Now, are you awake for that?
No. I literally rolled me in, turned me over. I already had the IV in. She walked over, put something in there. I said, is that the solution? Bye. Gone. I don't remember anything else.
Why don't you stick your finger in there really quick, see if there's anything back there?
Hang on. Uh-oh. No, that's my Barbie doll. Never mind.
Yeah. Actually, Fentanyl was supposed to stick a Post-it note in your pants. Nothing?
I said nothing. I fully expected to wake up with something written on my cheeks.
Okay. All right, well, if you need anything, clothes here for you. Okay. I'm not doing that. I don't care how close I am to 50.
You're going to have to do it, though.
Just the anxiety leading up to it, if they find something.
Well, the good thing is, if they find something, it'll be early. They burn it off, and you're pretty much done.
Okay, but what if it's cancerous? If they didn't burn all of it off, then they go in and take out part of your colon?
No. I mean, they find it early enough, they just burn off the polyps, and you're fine. The thing about colon cancer, it's very slow growing.
The same as prostate cancer. It's pancreatic's the one that's just like a wildfire.
Yes. No, colon cancer is even slower than prostate cancer. That's why they only have you do it every 5 years. If they find something, they'll bump you up to like 3 years down the road.
I don't know if I could go through the entire day, because I think he said he had to start fasting either late Saturday or sometime on Sunday, got on the meds, and just started clearing his ass out. Mm-hmm. I really like to keep my Sundays for relaxation. And I don't know if that's a way I want to spend the weekend. Saturday's going to suck because I know Sunday's right behind it.
Just do it during the middle of the week one day, when we're on vacation. It's better.
You're still missing the day before thing.
I got it.
And even if Russ was to do it on, say, a Wednesday, that means as soon as his last day on the air Friday, that means Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, he's worried about Wednesday.
Yeah, there's really no day you could put it in the week where it's going to be a lot easier to contend with.
Well, it's a hell of a lot better than cancer.
No.
Yeah. Chemo, radiation, if you let it go and all of a sudden it starts eating you up, yeah, that's a pretty painful way to go.
Couldn't I just wait till a few of the telltale signs? Because you said it's slow moving, slow growing.
The problem is there are no telltale signs. If there are, by the time you can really tell something with colon cancer, you're at least level 3.
I get faint just going into the hospital. When Amy had her appendix out, I knew I was driving her to the hospital for her. I still didn't want to be there. And I didn't stay there because I didn't care. I just can't stand being in the hospital. Went to see my dad at the VA, almost passed out in the lobby. Again, I'm not there for me. I just don't like the environment. You're not friendly about it. You go in there, and most people always come out with something.
You're not in a hospital. You go to these surgery centers.
Well, technically, he would still be in a place where bad things happen.
Yeah.
Most of these places,
you never have cancer until you actually go to one of those places, and that's when you get it.
No, you can.
I didn't have cancer when I walked in.
Yeah, you just didn't realize it.
Well,
but if
I'm okay with that.
If you catch it now, you don't have to worry about it. It's once every 5 years.
I have a healthy diet. Can I eat something to push some polyps out?
No.
Can I dig them out on my own?
No. And diet, nothing. It's
gerbil?
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you get video.
How'd I do that?
Strap a camera on the gerbil's head.
I should have hit the delay and just moved past this moment.
By the way, the stuff that JD took to clean himself out, I'm assuming is sodium phosphate, is available over the counter and can destroy your weekend.
That sounds like the same crap that he took before when he was cleaning out his colon.
I want to say the stuff he had last time was like magnesium citrate
That's
or something like that.
You're
Yeah,
right.
okay.
All right. How we doing, Chloe? Let me finish this. This is back to the relationship book before the a-hole called. Located all over the book are small inserts advising women on how not to speak in their vagaries, how to speak in a way direct to male that gets the point across. Surveys and percentages at the beginning of each chapter, if I'm not mistaken, sprinkled about the chapters. There are surveys with tallied results showing what percentage of men responded in accordance to the query of note. For instance, what female qualities are most attractive. In addition, noted areas of chapters show a specific percentage of men's actions, minds at work. Okay. All right, so it explains how we think. Thing is, it's not really that hard to discern. It's very matter of fact. When we say something, it's not based on feeling. It's what we want, what we need. It's very id-ish. Mm-hmm. That's why it's a lot easier to communicate with us. And I know on the other side, women's biggest beef is you don't listen to me. Well, in the beginning we started, but when it became some type of competition on how quickly I could decipher what it was you wanted, I got tired of the game, and that's when we stopped listening. If you speak a little clearer, if you just take ownership of what you're saying, then we're going to get past this a lot quicker.
The hard thing is with them is obviously for whatever reason they are conditioned, either through just because they're female or whatever, to speak in that way where we have to figure out what the hell it is they mean. And it's hard to recondition them on that.
But if you want to get past the arguments or any points of concern, you're going to have to dumb it down. Just think of it that way. You're doing it for us. But you don't think that you're having to raise yourself to a higher level to communicate with us. You're going to dumb it down. Say it like you're saying it to a 6-year-old.
Right, but you're right. They need to dumb it down because it makes it easier for everybody. But what they want...
You're very excitable about that.
Well, this happens to everybody. What really want you to do is they want you to come up to them and go into the feelings realm. We don't do that.
I ain't got no time for that.
I know.
Plus, I'm going to have to... If we changed the way that we communicated with women, we would have to figure out what it is the hell that they're telling us.
Yeah.
So... I'm already back in this mental circle jerk because I'm having to convert what I'm saying to go along with what they want to hear. I don't know what they want. And there's no way to do that. So the only way to make this easy is just tell us what you want. Don't make us guess. Don't hide it behind a sheet and play some puppet game. Just tell us.
But I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. It's the whole, and they'll reply with, but you should already know, I shouldn't have to tell you.
Well, if I should, then I don't, and it's one of my shortcomings, and if you want to get past this, then you're just going to have to tell me. I don't have time to sit and guess. Don't draw me stick figures. Don't play some type of mind game. Don't get out a Ouija board. Just tell me.
But they don't want to do that. Because they want, I really believe this.
What are you smirking at, Dan? You about to...
No, actually, part of it was the Ouija board, but I would find that fun if a woman did that.
But if you got a better freaking shot of getting an answer out of a Ouija board or some tarot cards.
Yeah, then it has an added element of excitement.
But I've heard women say this, but if they just tell you that, then we wouldn't talk.
We'd talk more if you would just tell us what it was. Make sure what you're telling me. Make sure what you're telling me is what you mean, not something you want me to decipher, extrapolate, sit down and be able to break it down and figure out, okay, well, here's what she means. Just tell us. And we're going to become better listeners if you're talking to us on our level. And again, it's not raising up to us. It's coming down. We're not that sophisticated. But we revel in our own farts.
I want you to know what I'm feeling. And the only way to do that is to talk.
Oh, that's wrong.
I was trying to avoid that.
I heard somebody in the background. I don't know if that's Gavin, you in there making noise?
Yeah. Oh, man.
What?
Oh, this stuff's just frustrating. You can't talk. We're men, they're women. That's how it is.
But I've never heard women complain about having conversations with other women. Unless it's just the fact that they're all communicating in that same vagaries. But there doesn't seem to be all the miscommunications with women that women have with men. So I think they do it just to F with us. I think they know how to get to the point and be logical about it. They just don't want to. And they know it's an absolute torturous section to make us guess.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Because there's no winning if you're on the man side. because they have that valuable treasure chest that we want to get into.
What's that?
You know what I'm talking about.
No.
They have that piece of hardware that we like to enjoy.
You lost me.
They have they have the chest, they have the lower region, they have that stuff. We desire it as guys, so we quit arguing.
Well, why didn't you say poon, clam, squid, jellyfish?
Because.
Fur burger. Stop being so vague.
Treasure chest. Bah.
I don't understand why there has to be a book just to explain to somebody, here are the basic, just, again, talk like you're talking to a 7-year-old. You're not gonna do that with a child. You're not gonna be vague. You're not gonna lay something out and hope that they pick up on it. You're gonna be to the point. Communicate with men like that, and you're really gonna wrap up 85% of your arguments. Because most of the arguments are you're as a guy, trying to discern what she said. And they'll deny that they said that until about that magical moment of 45 minutes. Then they'll finally acquiesce?
Yes.
They'll finally acquiesce. Okay, I said that, but that's not what I meant. So then you get to start again.
45 minutes, round 2.
And have they started just with... Then you got to waste another 15, 20 minutes explaining to them, had we just got to this point, when we started, the 45 minutes would have already been gone, and we probably could have been having sex or something enjoyable at this point.
Now, have you actually tried that? Because obviously you've gone through that plenty of times. You could see that debate, that 45-minute session starting. You ever stop in the first couple of minutes and say, tell me what you mean right now so we can avoid the next 30 to 40 minutes? And has that ever worked?
Yeah. I don't think I've had that many 45-minute conversations with Amy about something. I'll say, stop. Okay. Is this what you meant? Yeah. Okay. Well, then let's talk about that. Because here's what I originally thought you meant. Obviously, I was wrong. Let's go this route.
Yeah.
And that seems to work out a little bit better. But I had chicks back in the 90s. It was just every single one of them. There had to be some type of inherent time clock. They're not going to admit to anything until 15 minutes till the top of the hour.
Yeah, and you're right, because you'll interpret what they said one way because they can't dumb it down for us. And then you spend that 45 minutes talking about something that they didn't mean in the first place.
Which is exactly where you go. And it's a cyclical land of horror.
Yeah, because a lot of times you can get to the end of that 45 minutes, you think you've got the problem solved, and then you figured out what you were talking about really wasn't what's bothering them. That's something totally separate, but they were just expressing their anger.
And also in the course of that 45 minutes, they'll bring up different things, so you get sidetracked, and you got to really, it's like driving a car with a power steering out and dragging another car behind you with no wheels. As far as steering the conversation. I don't want to talk about this. But get that book. I'm Men, Love, and Sex, Complete User's Guide for Women. Get that and see if it's actually worth looking at. Actually, because I don't know how you'd stretch out an entire book over just be concise. To the point, talk to a man like you're talking to a child. We're not expecting compliments. It's not a matter of better educating yourself. Just talk stupid. Think Three Stooges.
Yeah, but you know, he asked, actually the guy that wrote it is or was the editor of Men's Health at one point, David Sisinko, along with Ted Spiker, who still works for him now. But as a woman, if you see a communication guide for men, it has to be long. Because if it's really short, women are going to think, well, that's obviously not going to work because I can't do anything in 4
Right, and
minutes.
nobody's going to buy a book that's 2 sentences long. Get to the point and then shut up. Actually, that's 1 sentence. Nobody's going to pay for that either. You're going to have a lot of pictures. Here's a picture of a woman shutting up.
Look how happy she is.
Yeah. See? Smiling, mouth shut.
And what did it say?
Diagram number 2. Side view of her being really happy and still quiet.
And you're right, because he has to over-explain it. Like each chapter is a different point, like the first chapter is shut up. Then he's got to over-explain it. He's got to over-explain it and use tons of different working examples where women are saying, I tried this and it worked.
Well, what does it say? Does it say in that email how much the book was? $12, $13? All right, if you check, I'm going to save you that cash. Be to the point. Talk like a child to us. And then we're going to want to listen more. And really anything else that you have a problem with is handled. Welcome. Keep the money for yourself. Buy yourself something nice.
Now, if only that worked.
It should.
Well, it should.
If you really want to get away, if you continue to have arguments after being enlightened like that, you want to have them. And if it's a guy, you're going to have to tell him, just tell me like I'm stupid. Well, you are. Okay, now the sideline, we'll let that one go. Just dumb it down, because you are. I really want to know what's bothering you, and calling me names isn't really going to speed this up.
I like the hands on the hips.
We have time to finish news? All right. It's getting hot in here again, or I'm getting sicker.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
All right. Okay. Did you do a legal ID at 4?
Yes.
4:11, Dan O'Malley's here with more news.
All right, thank you, Russ. Also, see, today's November 24, 2008. On this day in history, back in 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald was shot and killed by Jack Ruby on live TV.
Hang on. Did I keep it?
There is the prisoner. Do you have anything to say in your defense?
Oh, dildo.
Kind of makes you smile every time.
It's just funny because it's like Jack Ruby's purposely waited for the reporter to get the question out so he could shove the barrel right into Oswald's gut.
There's the prisoner. Do you have anything to say in your defense? There's a shot. Oswald has been shot.
And I still contend that the Dallas police probably put a little space in between transporting Oswald and actually getting him to Parkland. Because the belly wounds, and unless it was just exactly where Ruby hit Oswald. But again, there are too many weird coincidences with the whole JFK assassination, as everybody that we needed really for the investigation died.
Yeah. Well, what, was it Detective Lavelle? But I think he said that Oswald collapsed.
He said he immediately collapsed, but he didn't say how long it took him to get him to Parkland. And the Dallas City Jail isn't that far from Parkland, so why so long?
My guess is, I don't think it probably didn't take him that long, because you also had FBI and other people who, want to talk to him too. But you're right. I mean, I got one, but today it's not that bad. 40 years ago, 45. It may have been more serious, but I think
getting shot in the belly is bad, regardless of the decade.
Mm-hmm. But I think Detective Lavelle said that Ruby Oswald lost consciousness and really never regained it. So maybe he got hit, and
again, like I said, just the whole JFK assassination had conspiracy written into it.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't a gray area where, okay, here come the conspiracy dildos, and they're extrapolating something that ain't there. This was just fraught with mistakes by the Dallas Police Department.
Tons of eyewitness accounts saying...
Why did Oswald shoot Kennedy as the limo was going away from him as opposed to coming towards a school book depository? You had witnesses that said they heard something off the grassy knoll. Other people said it was an echo. You originally thought you had a Dallas Police motorcycle unit with the radio keyed up. They went back and examined that. He wasn't even anywhere in the area. It's just too many different things that were screwed up. And because we didn't keep really good records, we had no clue. We probably wouldn't have an answer today had it not been for the Zapruder film and then actually be able to go back and break that down.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to break? Yes. All right, good. I'm winded.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
Did you just scream at me?
No. I was just trying to get things going.
Were you the one that did?
I know. It was
you didn't load the bumper and you're screaming at me to go.
I was just giving you a heads up that it was in there. I was just trying to get things going. I wasn't yelling, no.
Yeah, you screamed at you.
Thanks, Trey.
So a couple of weeks ago, you screamed at me because I can't get some songs down on the guitar, and now because you can't run the board, it's my fault.
No, not at all. I was just trying to get things going with the least amount of
You're just getting a lot pissier as you age.
No, it's not it at all. Just trying to get it done.
I know what dead air sounds like. I was waiting on you to load something so I could mash the button.
And if it come out mean because it's because of my sense of urgency.
Well, it did.
I'm sorry.
You don't understand how it makes me feel. All right. What were we in the middle of?
Oh, we had just started news.
Did I bring up Imus and the RFD channel in the area?
No.
All right. I know I talked about it off the air. I tried to DVR Imus' show for, what is today, Monday? Mm-hmm. So I tried to set it up over the weekend. Just maybe listen to an entire show and see what it is that I don't get. Because he's slow, he's drawn out. I can't really fathom that there would be that big of an interest on him talking about his take on politics and social events.
Mm-hmm.
Social?
Yeah.
Society. Whatever. So I went to the RFD channel. Have you ever looked at any of the programming that leads up to his show?
I have not.
Here's a few of them. All these times are Eastern, because you're going to go home and hit the DVR. 12 a.m., Cattleman to Cattleman. That's, 12:30, Road to the Winter Circle. 1 a.m., The Ken McNabb Show. 2 a.m., Training Mules and Donkeys.
Oh, I got to watch that.
And the Training Mules and Donkeys got to be difficult, because that show runs all the time. Then you have the Penny Gilly Show, 3 a.m., Little Britches Rodeo. At 4 a.m., Big Joe's Polka Show. 5 a.m., Rural Heritage. 5:30, Extreme Cowboy Race. And then at 6, Imus in the morning. Why would he want to be on television? On the RFD channel? I know he was on MSNBC, and I'm sure there was some type of bump that came along with being on television. But MSNBC had cash. This is the RFD channel. They're running how-tos on mules and donkeys.
They may have a little niche market of, small town America.
But why would he want to be on that? What are you laughing at? Just Trey's explanation?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Little hold on
small town America.
That may be, I imagine a large part of his audience is going to be Midwestern, small town type deal, and maybe that's...
I believe that Imus, whatever content he has, is going to be a little harder to follow along with if you're not well versed in the news. If you're having to watch a show that's going to tell you how to train your donkey. Do you really think you can follow a talk show on social events?
I want to say you may have mentioned this before, that maybe the folks at RFD channel were just showing a picture of Imus, and it was him in his cowboy hat, and they said, he looks like our kind of guy, let's carry that.
Why'd that other TV company let him go? He said, what? Well, we said that.
We say that all the time.
What is the link you just sent me?
Out of curiosity, I typed into YouTube, Big Joe's Polka Show. It looks like the Polka Joe is sort of like like he presents all these different acts on this show.
Like Lawrence Welk.
Yes.
Of sorts. Like a variety show.
Yes.
All right.
The polka is in F, and we're going to use a regular...
Oh, this is a how-to.
Even better. There was one other clip I saw. It looked like it was something off of like a camera phone. If you look on the related stuff, you might find something better.
For this one. I'm going to follow along parts of it with a CD.
He's going to show me how to play a polka with the accordion.
Of course.
Yay.
Maybe I got part of the programming wrong. Maybe that training mules and donkeys ain't how to behave. Training them with the polka.
Maybe it was something, it was a package deal for his contract.
Then I probably would have just opted to set out. Because who'd he go to work for? ABC in New York?
I think so, yeah.
Why would they stick him, why would that be part of the package deal? You got to go on the RFD channel. That sounds like something Sharpton would have mandated.
I don't know if
But why would they have mandated that?
It's some type of penalty. There's no reason for Imus to get off scot-free. He got $20 million from CBS for breaching his contract. Then he gets a new gig making another $5 to $7 million a year. There's got to be some type of penance. You go on the RFD channel right after the Donkey Show.
Maybe he just wanted to be back on the air, and they said, "Here's the deal: we'll pay you this much, but you're going to be on the RFD channel."
I can't fathom they would stick that in his contract. That I can see why the RFD channel would want him, just like the E Network wanted Stern back in the 90s. Mm-hmm. You had some reason a draw to the E channel, but that was an entertainment network. This is the donkey world, and I don't get how Imus fits into that because everything else around him is totally void of intelligence. After Imus goes off the air at 9, you get This Week in Agribusiness and Hee Haw.
They show Hee Haw?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then the Wilburn Brothers, Pop Goes the Country, the Dennis Reese Show, Wide World of Horses, Heartland Highways, the Marty Stewart Show. Nothing on there is talk-oriented. Imus stands out like Imus on an RFD channel.
I think I've seen that.
Seen what?
I think I've seen the Reese Show. This entertainer guy, he comes up and he just introduces bands. He looks like what Porter Wagner would wear, but he looks like Sonny Bono. And he introduced this guy that played the fiddle that looks like a gay Dan Lewis, and he's jumping around with the fiddle, not playing it underneath your chin, but he's like putting it down into his side, playing it on his side, dancing around like he's the happiest person in the world.
A lot of mental images there, and I don't know if I can piece those together.
Phew. I saw it over the weekend.
Almost as if Liberace played the fiddle.
Pretty much, but Liberace would be a big gay cowboy with a mullet.
All right.
Here's the info on Big Joe, if you like.
Big Joe Polka Show?
Yes.
All right, hurry up.
Joseph Seidlich is better known as Big Joe or Polka Joe in Omaha, Nebraska, and surrounding areas.
Oh, hang on a second. There was one thing on this lineup on RFD. You got the Midwest Cowboy at 3:30, Lorraine's Celebrity Kitchen at 4. At 4:30, postcards from Nebraska.
Say what? Is there a bio on that?
No, it just says postcards from Nebraska, which has got to be nothing more than a host just holding up cards. Can I come home?
Send help.
Daddy, we changed. Come back and get us.
Yeah, I bet that show has a new twist over the last couple of months.
All right, give me the thing on Big Joe really quick.
Big Joe's interest in polka music of all kinds really stems from his Polish roots and from growing up in ethnic neighborhoods of South Omaha. Didn't know Omaha had direction stuff. Well, Big Joe has always...
They almost make him sound like he was more of an urban youth.
That's what that sounds like. From South Central Omaha. His professional interest began in Columbus, Nebraska on radio station KTTT in 1965 with his inaugural 90-minute polka show. The Big Joe Polka Show hit the air and was an immediate hit. Within 5 weeks, he was airing 5 hours each Sunday with a full load of sponsors.
That was after he got on the street and earned his polka cred.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Go ahead.
You got to get your stride. Go ahead. So popular was his program, radio stations in neighboring markets fought to get the Big Joe Polka Show on their air. Radio stations in huge markets like Ord, Nebraska, and Omaha, Council Bluffs, Iowa were soon added to the lineup. Big Joe syndicated.
Trey, put that on your list of things to do. See if you can get Big Joe on.
All right.
You're going to have to push them, show them our ratings, because obviously somebody like that is probably going to be recluse.
Big Joe has always played an equal mix of Polish, Czech, and German polkas, a little something for everyone.
Maybe ask him if he's available for our next white trash party.
Gotcha.
Oh, that'd be beautiful. The last part of it says, over the years, Big Joe has become the largest owner of polka music master tapes in the United States, with over 550 masters in his collection. Joe and his wife, Marty, own and operate Polka Cassettes of Nebraska. They feature over 700 cassettes, 300 CDs, and 100 videos in their warehouse.
And you know what's frightening?
Say it.
He probably... It's like my grandparents. They loved Lawrence Welk. I mean, watched it religiously. So yeah, there's got to be...
Yeah, people in their late 60s all the way up into their 80s who probably... all they have are cassette decks. Maybe vinyl.
A perennial viewer favorite on the RFD channel, the Big Joe Polka Show can be seen 12 times each week on RFD TV.
See if you can book it.
I'll do it.
All right. Okay, 4:35. Dan O'Malley's here with more news.
Thank you, Russ. Actually, some breaking news that's come in over the last hour. A Muslim charity and 5 of its former leaders were convicted today of funneling millions of dollars to the Palestinian militant group Hamas. And
is this the Holy Land trial?
Yeah, this is the retrial of the largest terrorism financing case since the attacks of September 11th. U.S. District Judge Jorge Solis announced the 108 guilty verdicts on the 8th day of deliberations in the retrial of the Holy Land Foundation for Relief and Development. Relatives of the former leaders sobbed after the defendants were found guilty of all counts, and one crying woman screamed in the courtroom, "My dad is not a criminal." They were accused of giving more than $12 million to support Hamas.
That was a local company, right?
Yes.
Okay. Was there sentencing involved? I wasn't paying attention. I'm still looking at RFD.
No, we just got the guilty verdict, so sentencing to follow.
All right. What was the story Trey brought in about Michael Vick?
I have that next. On the eve of a critical court appearance, new information has surfaced about Michael Vick. Federal investigators responding to a Freedom of Information Act request by WSB-TV's Scott McFarland have revealed Vick personally killed at least 7 of his fighting dogs by hanging or drowning. They also revealed Vick failed police polygraph tests in which he denied killing animals, and the federal paperwork said Vick decided to start his dogfighting ring just days after being drafted by the Falcons in 2001.
Did they say how they were able to prove that he strangled or hanged some of the dogs himself? They just said they uncovered it.
They just said that they've uncovered it.
Got it.
This information could influence the punishment Vick receives tomorrow when he enters a guilty plea to state dog killing charges in Sussex, Virginia. Vick was thought to have secured leniency by offering to a guilty plea, but the new information puts his future in doubt yet again. Vick is back in Virginia to face state dogfighting charges in a court appearance this week. He arrived from the federal penitentiary in Leavenworth, Kansas, where he's serving a 23-month sentence for the federal dogfighting conspiracy.
Trade you look online. Is there any speculation of what they could possibly tack on?
Well, he was initially, they thought, just going to get a suspended sentence. Now they're saying he very possibly going to get more jail time when he's done with his federal stint. He's going to go back to Virginia because there's also...
Where is he now? Is he in Leavenworth?
Yeah,
yes.
Leavenworth.
That's bad. That's the nastiest of... That's where they put all the military people that...
okay, I won't go there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's bad. We got it.
But there's also, in another story, I didn't pull it, but they said Vick took great joy in stealing people's pets and putting them in the ring with his fighting pit bulls and watch them maim and kill them. So I think it's great, this news. They've had all this time to do a Freedom of Information Act, but they did it right before he's about to get sentenced.
Obviously, well, first of all, if it's a TV station that did it, it's because it sweeps.
Yeah.
And that's not hard to spot. I think it was KLLI. They ran I don't even know which TV station it was. They just said, it's something that everyone wants to touch. And if you touch it once, it'll change your life. People are coming from all over the world to touch it. Don't do anything until you touch it. And they're not going to tell me until 10 o'clock tonight, so I don't know what the hell it is. I can't even imagine what they're going to play this off as.
And it's probably going to be something really stupid, not that big of a deal.
It always is. It's like that revolutionary diet that Janet St. James was pitching during one of their sweeps.
Oh, yeah.
It was drinking water.
Yeah.
Glass of water before, glass of water after. They had people just dump an assload of weight. Well, a lot of it's because you got the squirts.
Yeah, and it's the whole, when you fill your belly up with water before you eat, so you're fuller when you eat, and then you do it again afterwards, so you don't eat anymore. And I think you actually asked her when she called in to promote that piece later that night. You said, is it something as simple and stupid as just drinking a bunch of water? She's like, no, it's not that simple.
No, she's not going to float it off like that. You take an area that can only hold so much volume, you put crap in it before you eat. Obviously, there's not going to be much more room for food. Thanks. And I still got no clue what this story is about. Touch it. I want to run that as a promo for this show.
That would be good.
All right. What are those, Cody? Are they calling about the... Yes? Or you want to take one, or they just let them flash?
He's nodding at you. He's obviously busy.
I'll take one of them. Go ahead, you're on the air.
Yes, sir. I was going to let you know that the thing that people are coming all over the world to touch is some kind of statue that makes women, I guess, become fertile, have kids. So women from all over are coming to touch the statue.
Where's the statue?
Somewhere in Fort Worth is what I heard, but I'm going to listen in today, just like you, but that's what they've been talking about all day.
Some type of Catholic fertility statue?
Yes, sir. This is supposed to have a lady holding a baby, supposed to rub the baby or something. I mean, I don't have all the details, but that's just kind of what I heard today.
All right, thanks.
Is this like the Virgin Mary and the grilled cheese sandwich type thing?
Is that a diet?
No, it's like someone saw like a Virgin Mary, I think it was in a grilled cheese sandwich, and people were, I mean, like they do if you see Jesus or Virgin Mary.
Well, this sounds just like a statue that's supposed to look like what it is, not a screen door with the image of Jesus that people would drive just to stick their face up against. I don't know. Go ahead, Dan. I either got to start taking more cold meds or less, because I can't focus on crap. All I can think about is training mules and donkeys.
And not wanting to touch that statue in Fort Worth.
Well, I don't even know what they're training mules and donkeys to do.
You have to tune in to find out. It could be different each episode.
Well, you're right.
Rushing to rescue Citigroup, the government agreed to shoulder hundreds of billions of dollars in possible losses at the stricken bank and to plow a fresh $20 billion into the company. Regulators hope the dramatic action will bolster badly shaken confidence in the once mighty banking giant, as well as the nation's financial system, a goal that so far has been elusive despite a flurry of government interventions to battle the worst global crisis since the 1930s.
That was a nice quick kick in the ball sack to the big three automakers. Citibank comes up. I don't even know if they asked for anything. They just announced that they were going to cut 30, 40,000 employees. Now the government hands them how much?
$20 billion in cash just to kind of jumpstart them. And then they're backing, I want to say it was over $300 billion in loans.
And they probably carpooled going to this congressional meeting.
They may have gone a step further and just sent a nice email. Because that's free.
That's the biggest thing that lost the automakers. The bailout was just the arrogance of showing up in your own private jets, having no concern, no touch with really what was playing out in the economy. You're living in your own isolated bubble, and you're going to go to the government and ask for a complete bailout. Well, you haven't started making cutbacks, so obviously whatever you've done to get yourself in this position is going to continue.
And part of the biggest problem they ran into was not having a plan of action. Obviously, it's bad enough you're going in your three private jets, of many of which you own, to ask for money, but you're not going to tell these people what you're going to do with said money.
Well, we didn't have time to come up with no plan of action. We just found out this money window was open, and we just all hopped on the planes.
I think you would have had plenty of time on the plane to think of something.
Obviously not. And it's the things the automakers are really going to have to do. They're going to have to go back and deal with their unions, which is not going to be a quick fix. You're going to have design changes. I believe that's part of the government's, one of their requirements. If we're going to help you with this, you're going to go back, you're going to redesign a lot of these vehicles, and you're going to start focusing on gas mileage. That ain't going to be tomorrow. You're going to have tests, designs, wind tunnel tests, and then finally get to a prototype, and then you go off to mass manufacturing. That ain't going to happen in a couple of years.
No, but at least if they come up with a plan that shows, okay, because their business model just doesn't work now, and they have to come up with a plan that makes it work and show it. Now, if they can at least show the plan and start implementing it, the government's going to give them a lot more than $25 billion, because they want to save the auto industry. But the thing with Citi,
I know why they had to do Citibank. You're going to have to address the financial aspect, because that's going to affect all industries, the automakers. It's going to have far-reaching effects, but not as something as dramatic as Citibank or Wall Street, ING, or whoever it was.
Yeah, AIG. But no, I mean, Citi's stock has fallen from, I think, 58 6 months ago to $4.
It jumped up this morning, though, to over 6.5. Along with the stock market in general, after the news of the Citi bailout came through, the stock market jumped 300 points.
So how does CBS stay in business if our stock is only worth $6?
I think it's $4.50.
You're a real buzzkill.
It may have gone up today.
Okay. But it's down from the mid-30s to now $6 or $7.
Yes.
You don't know. Go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Actually, President-elect Obama was mildly critical of the big three automakers, saying he was surprised they didn't have a better thought-out proposal for their future before asking Congress to approve $25 billion in emergency loans. He added that once he sees a plan, he expects we're all going to be able to shape a rescue. I actually saw over the weekend, I forgot who it was. It was just one of those, cable news interviews. Someone was saying the automakers should have known this was coming years ago once, Japanese automakers started, introducing their cars into our market, because their cars weren't designed to fall apart and have little things here and there go wrong after a certain period of time, where they were contending that was the model for American-made cars.
They've Detroit's always operated under that premise of planned obsolescence. This thing's only going to last this long. So they knew as soon as there was an infiltration from the foreign markets that there was going to be an issue. Chrysler in the 80s decided they were going to start redesigning their cars. They were going to go for something that was going to be more quality driven, the K cars, which looked like a K. That didn't sell. Those fell apart. Now, some of the cars do get better gas mileage now, but you still got Ford truck and SUV plants. They're still cranking out cars because we're stupid enough to buy things that get rotten gas mileage. We like big vehicles. We don't like to drive something small. You look like a pussy. You got women driving Suburbans with only a couple of kids in there. Nothing else is being done with the rest of that room, and they can't drive them. They're too long. Well, it's those damn curbs. Curbs are there for a reason. Think of it like a road sandwich.
But that's when they get the 3, 4, and 6 inch lift kits on their Suburban. Then the curbs really aren't so much of an issue.
But I don't know how you justify in your mind. I need something this long just to carry around a couple of kids, especially when your driver's license, your training, it's not really going to make you capable of driving that damn thing.
No, you're right. And especially when, because I've seen it happen before where I've been at a car dealership and someone says, well, I want an SUV. Well, not just an SUV, I want a big SUV. Well, you only have 2 kids. Yeah, but what if we carpool and then, we have soccer practice we have to go to. Now we can take the whole team.
You got to haul around equipment. You've got all the other things. But back to Detroit, they already knew what the foreign automakers were doing. They knew that they were going to have to compete with that. And they just hope for the best.
Yeah, well, your costs,
and now you ain't got it,
are 40% higher than your foreign competitors who are making cars in this country. That should have been obvious right there. You got to change your business model. But I do love the fact GM is waving a flag going, look, we grounded a couple of our planes that were leased, but don't worry about those other 3.
We don't have those anymore. We you know what? As an automaker, we let our jets go back. Towing company came yesterday. Had they gone to Congress and said, all right, here are the cutbacks we've already made. As the CEOs, we're going to erase our salaries until this company's back into a profitable zone. We've gotten rid of all our perks, all the company jets, anything this company doesn't need to function. Had they walked up with that, they'd have gotten something. As opposed to telling them to get the F out.
Had just one of them been smart enough to go, you know what?
Just take your chair, push it over about 3 feet away from the rest of them, and start talking about all the things that you've done.
Congress would have written them a check.
And that car company probably been the only one at all that would have gotten anything as far as a bailout.
Absolutely.
We need a break. All right. Don't want to take any of those, Corey? Cody? What is his name?
Cody.
Whatever. Line 2? Mm-hmm. Yes, Sean.
Yeah, I was just reading online earlier. The car people are saying now that if they don't get their bailout, they're going to pull their advertisements off of like the main CBS, ABC, which is going to affect, of course, everyone who works for those companies like y'all. So that's just one thing that they're trying to say now. Well, they can't afford the advertisement if they don't get the bailout.
It ain't the advertisement. In fact, that's the last thing, and it's not. Thanks, Sean. That's not because I'm in broadcasting. Advertising your product is the last thing that you want to cut out of the equation, because that's going to be the first thing that's going to push you under. And you've got some of the smaller companies that have already started yanking their ads. The bigger ones, Frankel's, Roddy, whomever, they know that's part of their marketing plan.
Yeah, this is when you need it the most.
Yeah, you don't market it, then you're not going to really have anything to market down the road if things turn around.
That's why Big 3, the one thing they're not even thinking about cutting, they may scale back a little bit, but it's their NASCAR deal, because they know.
As far as advertising?
Yes. Well, as sponsors of the cars, I mean, they put in millions to help the team owners. You race my car because they know.
That's their big market for trucks, SUVs, tailgate parties. All right, we'll be back.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. We're back to the Russ Martin Show.
All right, go ahead, Daniel.
All right, this look at traffic is brought to us by Don Davis Auto. Right now in Dallas, 175 to CF on Freeway. Westbound, before you get to 2nd Avenue, you have an accident blocking the left lane with a backup all the way to Hatcher. Over in Mesquite, 635 southbound at Oaks, you have an accident blocking the right lane there. That backup is to Abrams. And then also in Dallas, 35 northbound at Highline, the 2 left lanes are closed due to a crash there. The backup is all the way down to I-30. Right now, Tarrant County actually not looking too bad, just usual spots with their stop and go sluggish areas. There's your check of traffic. I'm Dan O'Malley on the Russ Martin Show.
Everett, you better get out of the way.
Which way is out of the way?
Where you're out of the way. He's already passed you now.
Right now, a look at weather. Tonight, we can expect skies to be mostly clear. Into tomorrow should be perfectly clear with a high of about 70. Overnight low of 37. Wednesday, high of 74. Partly cloudy. Thursday, we can expect some showers for Thanksgiving. Right now at Live 105.3, it's 63 degrees.
Everett, would you see any reason why I wouldn't be able to use motorized equipment to do yard work in the back of my yard?
Sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Okay.
It's not. A charger is not considered motorized equipment for yard work.
It is if you use it for yard work.
Yeah.
You can't really use it for yard work. It doesn't mow. It doesn't hedge.
You'll need to say something more than charger. It makes it sound like you're talking about batteries.
I'm sorry. The General Lee is not intended for yard work. Bo and Duke never used it for yard work.
You don't know that. It just may not have made for great TV.
Where are the pictures? So I can show Everett.
You live in a very nice, affluent subdivision.
And I take pride in my landscaping.
Doing donuts in your backyard is not pride in your landscaping.
Depends on the look you're going for.
Yeah. And I'm spreading pre-emergent, and I'm killing ant beds.
Killing ant beds with your Goodyear tires does not... no. You're just pissing the ants off, really.
There they are, Everett.
Okay.
There's one killing the ant beds.
Oh, excellent.
It's not excellent.
Well, you're not adding harmful pesticides to the groundwater.
No. There's spreading with the pre-emergent.
Excellent.
And then there's a shot of me pushing the pre-emergent into the ground.
Wonder if you can get a tax write-off for all this.
Yeah, can I write off the General League for something like that? Now that it's some type of ag deduction. The Homeowners Association's already called Trey about this.
Really? That's surprising.
You got people next door where their kids are outside nonstop. And those great big playhouses. All hours, I got to tolerate that. I ain't in the backyard 10, 15 minutes just doing yard work.
It's reasonable to understand that kids are going to be in the backyard playing. It is not reasonable to think a grown man is going to use his General Lee to do yard work.
I think that's just because no one else thought of it.
No.
Is it in the bylaws?
No, but like I said...
But you could use a lawnmower.
Yes. A lawnmower doesn't have a V8.
I don't believe they discussed cubic displacement. Hmm? Go ahead.
See, they have you know what we'll talk to them about the Russ Martin addendum to the bylaws saying you can't use your car, especially a TV car, to do yard work.
What kind of car can I use?
None.
The Batmobile's out?
Yeah, I think the Batmobile's out.
What if I get the Beverly Hillbillies truck? Does that look more agricultural?
Ooh, yeah. You can smack yourself in the head all you want, Trey. It's not going to get any better. Plus, Everett, ask Russ how long it took him to get all that stuff done.
How long, Russ?
About 15 minutes.
I think you're sort of at the cutting edge, at the vanguard of lawn care.
Would it look more agricultural if I put a trailer behind it when I'm doing all this?
No.
Possibly with some day workers on it.
You're not supposed to drive your car in your backyard.
All right, let me ask you about this. This is another business I was thinking about getting into. The day workers reminded me. What if I took points of interest. Planted a bunch of day workers at each one. You stop, you pick one up. That would allow you to drive in the HOV lane. You drop them off. They get another car. They come back up. Maybe you charge them $5 a haul. Wouldn't that make money?
I'd pay for that. Absolutely.
That way every day you get to beat a big part of the traffic because you've got somebody in the car with you. You give them $5. They get the other end of the HOV. You get a car that brings them back. That way I also save money on transportation. You want to laugh, but that makes freaking good sense.
And charge another $5, have them teach you Spanish.
Shut up, Everett. Screwing up my business model.
He's not ready to diversify.
I see.
I think the safety concern might, become an issue.
Well, I'll do a background check. They all got documentation.
It's all completely above board.
Well, what? Just call them Humvee lanes. Get it?
Yeah. In what state of mind are you in? Because I've been drunk a lot. I've been drunk with you a lot. But I still, at what level of drunk do you start coming up with these things? Because I want to get there.
I'm an entrepreneur, dude. And there's no reason. All right. The day workers, they're probably going to want too much money, and they can get a lot of other things done. How about if I just get homeless people? Stick them at both ends. You pick one up, you give them some cash. That way you get the HOV lane. I take my own percentage. Everybody saves money on gas. The homeless people actually get a job.
Well,
and everybody gets to drive in the HOV lane.
How?
And the homeless people get to go for a nice ride.
How do you come up with these things? Where? Where are you going to put the homeless people to pick them up and drop them off?
They're already out on the corners. Just put them in the different areas where you could be easy on, easy off, pick up your homeless person, and then get in the HOV.
Hotspots.
Yeah, homeless people hotspots.
Have you just completely lost your mind?
I'm on dope meds, man. Cut me a break.
Some would argue he's thinking quite clearly.
There's no reason not to. It's just irritating for me to see people in the HOV lane, and they get in the HOV lane because they got a kid. How does that equate of you being able... That's not carpooling. Carpooling is two drivers. Having a kid in a baby seat isn't a high-occupancy vehicle.
You've got a valid point with that one. I can't argue. And your business model, although intriguing, I think you would come up with a number of problems.
All right. What if I did dancers instead? Seemed like a good idea now, doesn't it?
It's a fabulous idea. I still think you're
Plus,
right.
I know a lot of topless dancers. Probably break even at the end of the ride. Might actually cost you an extra couple of dollars. But it would also cut out a lot of road rage because you'd be too sleepy.
I'm with you on that one.
All right. Thanks for finally jumping on board. The economy's going to hell. I'm just trying to help.
You're doing your part.
All right. Cody, what does Big Stacy want?
He wants to know, aren't there attachments you can put on your car to make it in my work?
Yeah, can I strap blades? What if I put blades on the Mach 5? All right, the whatever the hell is I'm driving. Generally. Mower blades.
How are you going to put mower blades on?
Like a brush hog. Oh, hell yeah. Tell the Homeowners Association to eat me.
That's awesome.
Go ahead, Dan.
All right. President-elect Barack Obama on Monday unveiled his economic team and warned that the economy is likely to get worse before it gets better. He went on to say,
Well, how fascinating. He's already started distancing himself away from success because a good part of the people that voted for him think that January 21st, or even spotting 24 hours, the economy is going to take an immediate upswing. And that's what he's already setting the stage to let them know this is not going to be immediate. The economy, this is something that happened long before I got here. It's going to take me a while to straighten it out.
No, you're absolutely right, because everyone bought into that whole, that change and all that hype. And for whatever reason, people started thinking that as soon as he gets into office, everything's going to be fixed almost immediately. And because of that general stupidity, he now has to go in and inject a little bit of reality into it.
Well, it's like I said, I even started to buy into it myself. And nothing is really going to transpire that's going to be economy shattering between now and January 20th. Why not let him in now?
Well,
Bush isn't going to do anything. Everybody's just going to sit around, let everything just kind of stew, get out of office, and then he's done with it.
Well, he's got to assemble his cabinet and get his plan in place. And, there is a transition period, I think, that's needed.
But again, people think that Obama is going to be the immediate answer for everything that we're going through. Well, stick him in now. Give him a shot. Give him a few extra months just to get things going. So come January 20th, we'll be out of it.
Bush probably, right. Bush probably isn't on board with that idea. He probably wants to hang out there for a while longer.
All right.
And I see it also. It would actually be, I would see it as one of the rare occasions that right before a president leaves the White House, that he can actually do some really, really good things and have sort of shape his legacy slightly differently than otherwise.
I don't think what Bush can do in a couple of months is going to undo the current perception. I know years you get away from this, all of a sudden anything that you purportedly did, that seems to fade out. Jimmy Carter, they pay him hundreds of thousands just to go and speak to different universities, even though he drove our economy straight to the center of the earth. We forgot about all of that. We forgot about the tax rates and unemployment and giving away U.S. territories. Nobody remembers that because as soon as Carter got out of office, he went on his revamp tour to try and go back and change his image. So Bush obviously isn't going to be just set aside as a charlatan in the history books.
No. But what I mean is I think it's one of those times where it's a huge situation going on and he has, he's in a position to really put his fingerprints on it as far as helping this whole situation take a turn for the good.
And get together his pardon list.
Yeah, Cheney probably is going to be on that.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear that Texas grand jury indicted Cheney on organized crime?
Yeah, of course, the DA's out there boycotting with chickens or something like that.
I didn't see that. I just don't know how, as a grand jury, you would come to that conclusion based on two reasons. One, it's Dick Cheney. B, it's organized crime. What if you're right?
Well, I guess that's possible, but I read an article about the DA, and apparently he has a, for lack of a better term, rich history with respect to engaging in bizarre behavior. In fact, he was ousted by, I think, a 70 to 30% margin in this last election because he's gone after any number of people, most notably people in the political process that were adversaries of his.
Well, also, I think the prosecutor didn't show up the first day of hearings, so they immediately went to his house to check.
Right.
For either new earth or just to see if he was around.
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever explained where he was.
No, I don't think so either. But, yeah, how many indictments were handed down? I know quite a few.
I don't know. Is it of any consequence? Because really, if it looks like it's going to get ugly, all Bush has to do is stick him on his pardon list and be done with it.
Well, sure. Absolutely.
And there's not going to be a stigma that goes along with that because Clinton pardoned anybody at the end of his administration. Nobody focuses on that.
No, he set the mark really high.
All right, go ahead, Dan.
It's been almost 5 years since Janet Jackson's infamous wardrobe malfunction at the 2004 Super Bowl, and everyone is over it. Everyone except, that is, for the FCC. Prosecutors on behalf of the FCC have asked...
Are they going to go after her? Or is it still the CBS lawsuit?
It's still stemming from the CBS stuff.
I don't understand why they're blaming CBS for all of this. They didn't concoct this. Janet Jackson and was it Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
All of this was planned. All of it was scripted. And I'm surprised that hasn't leaked out from somebody on the stage crew that watched this happen over and over during rehearsals. I'm surprised nobody else has testified about that. But the FCC is still going after CBS.
Yeah, they still want to. They've actually asked the U.S. Supreme Court to review the case after a federal appeals court shut all the nonsense down earlier this year. The FCC, of course, fined CBS $550,000, and CBS took them to court. After a 3-year battle, the appeals court shot down the fine, ruling that the FCC had acted arbitrarily and capriciously in imposing the fine on CBS. The Supreme Court has not said whether it will consider the request, and there's no word on when they'll be making that decision.
And that's been the biggest problem with the FCC and their list of directives is they're all in a gray area. And they can act on whatever they choose, let go whatever they choose. Why they would go after Howard Stern and not Oprah when both broadcast the exact same content. In fact, Stern couldn't even read the transcript of something Oprah had said 2 or 3 days before because he was afraid he was going to get fined.
Yeah, and actually Oprah does I don't know how regular of a feature it is, but she has on a doctor named Dr. Laura Berman who has like a sex clinic, whatever it is, somewhere in, I think, Illinois, Chicago. She's a couples therapist. They'll come on and talk about stuff that if any one of us in this room said, you would have us rung up and shot.
Well, because it falls under the guise of education, and it's not titillating, not really sexual in nature. That's how you get away with it. Again, that's still a judgment call.
Well, that's a problem. It's like having a game without a rule book. You know, I mean, if you're prosecuted for a crime in any state, Texas, there's a penal code that articulates what you can and cannot do. There's no similar book that you can turn to for these sorts of violations. You only find out after the fact.
Well, the FCC will issue a fine. Then they'll go back, they'll overturn themselves and go, okay, that wasn't finable. It was the whole Bono saying effing great comment.
Right.
They overturned that. They came back and said, nah, we're going to have to drop a fine on that one.
Yeah, it's absurd.
And the Janet Jackson thing, you got something that lasted maybe, video is 30 frames per second, probably lasted 3, maybe 4 frames. How offensive can that be?
The problem is the FCC is pandering to the same people who love Oprah are a lot of the same people who would absolutely hate Stern and thought it was just vulgar and crass and don't see a comparison between the two, which, like you said, they talked about the same stuff, but it's just pandering, basically, in my opinion.
Well, it can't be in a situation where it can be subjective. You've got to have something hard and fast. You can do this, or you can't do this, and it's got to be blanket for everybody. And to go after Stern or Rush Limbaugh or any other programming, especially if you're trying to introduce the fairness doctrine back. The only reason that's happening is because the liberals, and I hate to use that term because then that makes me sound like, what's not liberal? A conservative.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. It's a Democratic Party. They're tired of getting bashed on talk shows, so they want to reinstitute the fairness doctrine so they can stop getting their ball sacks dragged over the coals every 10 minutes.
Yeah, because it obviously hurt them so much in this last election.
And I'm curious because Obama, I saw a deal over the weekend again where he said he did not believe the fairness doctrine should be reinstated, but yet he's put people in charge of his FCC transition team that are big proponents of it. And it's like,
well, that's his way out. The FCC, it's a separate entity. They can do whatever they want. Here's my own desire. They went back and instituted it. I didn't have anything to do with it, whether he did or not. Then you've got a way out. All right, go ahead, Dan.
Okay. Have you heard of an actress named Crystal Guns?
Yeah, porn star.
I thought actually you might actually know the answer to that. You would
early
be
90s.
Yeah, roundabout. Crystal is a seriously well-endowed woman of porn who appeared in a number of magazines and movies in the 90s and early 2000s.
Aren't those like 40s?
I don't know the number, but they say here it looks to be triple G cup size.
Big enough for Obama. And I don't mean his name. I mean actually hang him off her teats.
Sure. I printed off a picture of her in case you forgot what she looked like.
That's her. What's she doing now?
Well, she gave up porn and is now working as in a cafeteria and also as a playground aide at an elementary school in Vineland, New Jersey. Under her legal name, Louisa Tuck, because if she goes by that name, no one could ever figure out what she used to do.
Trey, you want to see a picture? Yeah, sure. There's Crystal Guns.
Imagine that giving you a sloppy Joe. As you might expect, a number of parents are upset that a former porn star is working with their kids, but school officials say they have no plans to fire her because she hasn't done anything illegal.
You know, being in porn's not illegal, and if she hasn't done anything with the kids, short of the sloppy Joe, then what's your beef?
Yeah, and I actually saw it was like a Fox TV from New Jersey, a news piece that they had over the weekend, and they talk. You know, that's when the reporter goes out and talks to all the parents in their cars as they're picking up their kids. One dad actually says, "I just don't think that's right." And I got 2 beautiful little girls here. I don't want Destiny, being,
lured into that?
Yeah.
Well, you already named your kid, gave her a porn name.
Thank you. Your kid's destiny literally has already been set by what you named her.
I got Destiny and Chase in the back seat. What are they going to learn from this?
Along with their cousin Cinnamon.
One of you kids get up in the front seat. I mean, main stand, or whatever the hell we call that. Go ahead.
3 spacewalks down, 1 to go. NASA astronauts Stephen Bowen and Robert Shane Kimbrough venture outside the International Space Station on Monday for the 4th and final spacewalk of Shuttle Endeavour's nearly 2-week visit to the orbiting outpost. But the trip just got a little bit longer. On Monday, mission managers added a day to Endeavour's mission to give the astronauts more time to work on the new water recycling system that was delivered by the shuttle. It's actually the urine processor. A key part of the system is not working properly, so they have to stay and fix it. Now, the spacewalkers hope to finish unjamming a huge joint that keeps in addition to the urine.
Okay,
thing.
if the piss converter isn't working, what have they been using for liquids up until now?
You know, they must have some. They may have brought some with them, perhaps. But
they have a sweat and wastewater.
These people are
filtration
astronauts.
System.
Why are you going to make them drink bodily fluids?
Because on the space station, you don't have room. You have to come up with some way. You don't have a water storage facility. You can't use bottles.
Then build one. Do something that's obviously going to work, where you know you got a stock, you know it's going to last for so long, you don't have to worry about the piss capacitor going out on you.
They're just the whole reason for this mission to get this solar panel jammed is so they can now put 6 people on the space station instead of 3 and use it to its full capacity. So they have to
and do what?
Research,
more science tests. See if spiders can actually build a web in outer space.
Yeah.
It's cruel. If a spider struggles through all that, gets his web up, sits there, and realizes business is slow.
It really is a big screw job.
I'm going to sit here in the web, and I'll just wait for a little while. Here comes something. No, that's a purse full of tools.
It's the 4th one this week. But anyway, they hope to finish unjamming that huge joint that keeps the power-generating solar wings on the space station's right side facing the sun. Astronauts couldn't finish the cleaning and lube job after 3 spacewalks, so the task was added to the 4th. They also plan to lube up a similar joint for the station's left solar wings.
I went online to try and figure out why that pouch, whatever it was that female astronaut turned loose of, I still couldn't find why it was worth $100,000.
You know, I actually did the same thing over the weekend, and the only thing that I've been able to find that was in that pouch was the grease gun. And I don't think there was anything else in there.
Maybe because it works in space, it has a special mechanism.
Well, Trey brought that up, but the only problem is it exploded in the bag, and that's why she lost it, is it got gooey in there. So it doesn't work in space.
Certainly decreases value.
Go ahead, Dan.
A Brooklyn mom was released Friday from the hospital where she says a medical bungle turned her into a quadruple amputee. Tabitha Mullings, who is beginning a long and arduous rehab, is suing Brooklyn Hospital Center for failing to treat an infection that developed into sepsis, leaving her an invalid and blind in one eye. The 32-year-old mother of 3 was wheeled out of the hospital and gulped fresh air for the first time since her medical nightmare began 2 months ago. She first went to Fort Greene Hospital's emergency room in pain on September 14th. Doctors diagnosed it as a kidney stone, gave her some painkillers, sent her home. The pain intensified the next day, so her fiancé rushed her to the hospital. Her infection choked off blood flow to her hands and feet, and she lapsed into a semi-coma for 2 weeks. When she awoke, doctors told her they had to amputate.
Is the thinking we're just going to start cutting stuff off until you feel better?
Well, the thinking was basically it was an original bad diagnosis. They realized she had some bad infection. They didn't catch it, didn't diagnose it. It turned into sepsis.
So did they cut off her arms and legs, or just she got stubs? What has she got?
She's got stubs. It was like her both hands, about not quite halfway up the forearm, and then her feet as well, not quite halfway up the shin.
How much is she suing for? Is that part of the story?
Yeah, I think the initial claim was like $100 million.
Sounds pretty good. Sounds reasonable. I mean, what value do you place on your limbs?
I would start at someplace a little higher, 7 figures, 8.
100 million is 9, isn't it?
Well, let's go $1 billion. I mean, whatever that is, that's where I would start.
That makes sense, actually. I mean, because you hear about these lawsuits all the time as far as, well, it was just a diagnosis, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really bad came of it.
Right.
If
you're uncomfortable for a couple of weeks because of a misdiagnosis and you finally clear it up, you still get cash for that. But to chop off somebody's limbs, and now she's going to have to go to court because nobody's going to actually want to give her the money. She's going to have to go to court. Can you point out the doctor that, oh, that's right. God bless you.
That case will settle. That's just to get the wheels in motion. I can't imagine that case would go to trial. And, there are actually analyses that can be done in a given jurisdiction to determine the value of an arm. For example, what are juries awarding for the loss of your non-dominant hand on average? That data exists, and lawyers avail themselves of it.
What quantitative data are they going to use to decide Do they look at whatever your job was? Did he use his hands when he still had them? Would that come into play?
I think so. I think typically it comes in the form of what are juries giving to plaintiffs who have a particular sort of injury. Now, if you want to delve further into determining, what was the factual basis, do they use their hands a lot, do they not? But just as sort of a general idea as to what...
But would they get more if it was their job actually involved, they had to have their hands to do it?
Sure.
I.e., a psychic would get dick.
Right. Unless they're into palmistry. But yeah, if the... it depends.
They're not reading their own.
Well, they got somebody else's in there, and they got to run their fingers over the little grooves.
You can get a monkey.
Well, yeah. I hadn't thought of that.
And actually, the more I think about it,
does today's show suck as bad as it feels like it does?
Not at all.
No.
I can't focus on anything.
Dude, we got a monkey reading palms.
Okay. Do we need to break it?
Yes.
All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. To the Russ Martin Show.
All right, Citibank got $25 billion.
$20 billion in cash, and the government's backing over $300 billion that they consider toxic assets. Now,
bad investments.
Yeah, bad mortgages, basically.
Got it.
Now, the question is, there's a lot of people are speculating that some of these banks, are taking what now are considered iffy loans, but really not that bad, and just piling them on in this toxic status to get the government to back as much as they possibly
can. To get
can.
more cash, even if it's a loan that's maybe only might be 30, 60, 90 days late.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't be a foreclosure situation.
Right. But if as long as the government's backing these mortgages, they don't have to worry about them defaulting, so then their books look a lot better. And then hopefully, they'll start lending money to other banks and people.
The last I heard, after the Citibank, the release of the information on the Citibank bailout, the stock market was on an upswing.
Absolutely.
I don't know where it closed.
Up like 365 points.
Just based on Citibank?
Yeah, based on...
Or Citicorp. Or
yeah, the fact that they're getting an immediate infusion of cash, yeah, that made the market very happy.
Why is it there wasn't any elation over the initial announcement of the bailout? The stock market hasn't done anything but vacillate, even though they knew that money was coming. Citigroup gets this cash, and now there's an upswing. And where do we keep... I know I asked this, and I know the answer is going to be T-bills, but where do we keep getting this cash? Really, at a certain point, you're going to have to, as anybody else would, you'd look at your books and go, okay, we've only allocated so much for bailouts, natural disasters, military aid, foreign aid. We're really tapped.
I mean, the quick answer to two questions is, A, other countries, other governments buy our T-bills.
Why would they buy anything from us? Our economy sucks, which means our dollar sucks. And why buy any stock in this country? Because we don't know how to run a company, which is really our business model. We don't know how to run a business.
But a T-bill, I mean, it doesn't matter what the dollar does or anything else. It's just a secure investment.
How is it secure if our economy is still in the pisser?
Because the government's going to pay the interest on those bonds just like clockwork.
With dollars that are worth less and less every time we infuse more money into the economy. More money you throw out, each dollar is worth less.
I know.
Is that overly naive?
Kind of, because actually the dollar...
I'm stupid. You know more than I do. Go ahead.
Theoretically, yeah, you're right.
Community college, you got to tell me.
I mean, actually, the dollar's actually gained value in the last and how I don't really understand. But compared, our buying power versus the pound, the euro, everything else. But the next question, the other thing is, our government has an endless supply of money because people will always buy T-bills. We
have an endless supply of money because we're in charge of printing it.
Well, You're right, but people will buy our T-bills all day long, and the day our T-bills aren't worth anything.
All right, then I'm absolutely missing why the T-bills would be worth anything if it's coming from a government who can't run a business.
Doesn't matter.
It's not just on a national level. It's like during the break, Everett was talking about locally. You have no accountability. The government's gotten to a point to where there's no checks and balances as far as finances, and spending is just retarded. You got DISD, 65 million plus unaccounted for. Ain't nobody been tapped to go to prison. Really, no investigation that proved any wrongdoing, which there would have to be to lose that much cash. Heaney Hosa still got his gig.
You're right, but basically, I'll give you $100,000, and you're going to give me $5,000 a year for the next 30 years.
That's what we're saying. Doesn't mean we're going to be good for it.
No, we are good for it. And the day we're not good for it, the global economy, it would make the Great Depression look like happy, joy time. Because that means everything, our market, everything, the economy, the world economy is based on, a lot of it is the T-bill.
Right.
Has gone to...
What is that? Treasury bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're borrowing against those and hoping that the money will bounce back to pay it off in the future.
We're going to have the money regardless because, again, we got the keys to the printer. You got the machine.
Well, and there's an element, too, I think Trey touched on, of making sure that the global economy sustains itself. Because if they don't buy the T-bills and our economy fails, so too do the markets of the world, which affects them more directly.
I understand the economic reciprocity. I just don't get, with my limited mindset on socioeconomic things, how we can't just get to a certain point where we ain't got it. We're out. We have run the freak out. Got no more money. Had some, had a lot of it, gave it away. No more here.
And we could, but we don't.
We never do.
Citigroup
right. Comes up, all right, here's $25 billion. Automakers come for a bailout. Would have gotten it had they not come across as a bunch of cocky asses. You got the money for all the different banks. We've got money nonstop. I just can't get my mind around where does it come from?
Like I said.
And we have that for things like that. But we really have nothing for infrastructure. We don't really worry about the roads. Public services.
That's one of Obama's big things is he wants to, immediately create all these jobs. And again, you're talking about a massive amount of cash to do it, but start improving our infrastructure, redoing roads.
Well, then use my business model for the HOV lane and start working with that. That's an immediate infusion of cash into the economy. More people will use the HOV lane. They'll probably drive more because now you've got some homeless person that will sit with you so you can get in the HOV lane or get a day worker.
Or a stripper.
I like the stripper.
Yeah.
It'd be like the gold level members.
Pay them $5, $6 just for the ride. You're probably in the car 15, 20 minutes. Maybe a little bit more, depending on how many songs are on the radio.
And have access to the HOV.
Yeah. For a couple extra dollars, some of the dancers will take away the road rage. Because you can't be angry if you're sleepy.
We all win. Crime is down, the economy's up.
I'm in.
You actually mentioned the auto workers. This just came out from Fox News. After being skewered by Congress and even lampooned on Saturday Night Live, the CEOs of Detroit's 3 automakers may end up making their return trip to Washington by car as they seek a federal bailout. Imagine that. The Detroit area's auto industry, whose livelihood depends on the health of Chrysler, Ford, and GM, spent the weekend emailing and discussing how to set up a giant car caravan to seek help from Congress.
They've missed it on this one.
Yeah, it's a little late.
You already got your ass chewed because you showed up in your own private jets, all individually, all coming from the airport with limos, had one of the CEOs just play this out in his head, talk with the other CEOs. Hey, how'd you guys get here? And then sit there and go, I walked. I carried a dead Chinese on my back, and I walked here. Spent no money. I'm here because I'm going to bail out my company, and that's how much I believe in it. These 2 guys came in their own jets. Those 2. Let me just sit there and wait for your money.
Yeah, right. Not my company. Those bad dum-dums over there.
Had any of just one of the CEOs set themselves apart, Congress would have grabbed him, just started shoving cash in his pants until he was full and go, you come back when you want some more. Had he just thought, I'll get a rental car, I'll drive there, they're going to ask me how I got here, and I'm going to show them my little Hertz receipt.
Yeah, and you're right, because it's one of those things that I've never been able to wrap my brain around the pay that CEOs get. I understand they're the top of a, mega company and all that, but really, how smart are they really? Because obviously, these three guys, completely stupid, because any normal person in this world would think, I'm not going to take the private jet to Congress. Oh, and by the way, if I'm going to ask to borrow some money, I'm going to have an idea of what it is I'm going to use that money on.
They're probably, if they're going to give me billions and billions, they're probably going to ask me something.
Right. They're completely void of common sense.
And if you're going to play your company as going belly up, then you really want to show that you've already made cutbacks and you've made your own personal sacrifices. You've given up your personal jet. You've given up any other accolades, bonuses, any other structure of money coming in. All that's gone. And don't take a freaking private jet to go ask for $25 billion.
Right, because the same tactics they use in going to Congress to ask for money wouldn't be used by a normal person walking into a bank looking for a home loan or a vehicle loan, whatever.
Yeah, you're going to have to show me what you're going to do. If you're in here to get a small business loan, and you could look at it just like this. What are you going to do? What's your business plan? And you've tried this in the past, and it didn't really play out. What are you going to change?
Right. You don't show up in a $10,000 suit and having just walked out of your Lamborghini asking for, about $10 billion.
Well, and the sad thing, too, is that the CEOs are not the people that are going to suffer if the bailout doesn't go through. It's going to be the guys, trying to make a living. The CEOs are already set. They're already wealthy.
Well, and you've got companies that are already part of this bailout program that are still throwing out bonuses to their executives. How is it that you failed as a company and you're still, unless you work for CBS, you're still getting a bonus for anything?
Again, common sense. They have none of it.
Well, and they get to control the purse strings. That's the thing. These guys are paying themselves this money. So, why not pay yourself millions of dollars if you can get by with it?
You're living in a bubble where you're just totally void of any type of reality. And that's why they blew it when they went to Congress. Like Dan said, if you were really in touch with the economy, you would have had a lot of stuff planned, knowing that they're probably going to ask me something if I'm going to ask for some cash.
Yeah, because that's the whole reason you're going to sit in front of that committee. They're not just, that's the same damn committee, if I'm right, Trey, that skewered baseball players on steroid usage.
Yeah, a lot of them.
But so you think you're going to walk in and go, okay, we'll pay you some cash now. That's not a formality.
Well, $25 billion was just our starting number. What's right?
And you can tell they really still don't get it because they're talking about a giant car caravan. Man, just you load yourself up, coach, American Airlines, fly to D.C., go for them, rent a car.
Well, the car caravan. Who came up with that?
Apparently, it's a combination of people from all three companies coming together and saying,
take the three CEOs, put them in a minivan, get a hybrid.
Yeah.
Right up on a freaking donkey just to show that I've made some cutbacks in my life. I need to get my cash because my donkey's outside and he's got a bladder thingy.
You get three guys, really nice suits, one donkey.
Yeah. Obviously, we deserve the cash. Don't we look wise? All right. Ready to finish now?
Yeah, sure.
All right, 5:48. Dan O'Malley's here with more news.
Thank you, Russ. In January of last year, 46-year-old Travis Harvey of Gurnee, Illinois, contacted a local radio station, WXLC-FM, and told them he was having trouble finding a date. So the station held a contest to help him out.
I saw this story, and I missed the city at the beginning, but I kept reading it, looking for our station's call letters someplace in here.
You're right. It does actually sound like something we would do. WXLC-FM in Gurnee, Illinois, or Travis is in Gurnee, Illinois. They promoted Harvey as a great guy to find a date. 24-year-old woman won the contest, and WXLC set up a date at the House of Blues in Chicago a few days later. But on the night of their date, Harvey called the woman and told her he was just too tired to go to the House of Blues. Instead, he offered to cook dinner at his house. Here's the thing. Harvey's a convicted felon. But since the radio station didn't conduct a simple background search, they didn't know that. And when the woman showed up at Harvey's house for dinner, he drugged her and felt her up while she was passed out.
So now she's suing the radio station.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she's suing them for, But there are rape charges involved with this.
Sure.
Yeah, last week Harvey pleaded guilty to sexual assault. He's been sentenced to 2 years of probation, and he'll have to register as a sex offender for the next 10 years.
And what does he care? He's a convicted felon. So a registered sex offender isn't really going to have people make ugly faces at him.
Well, just the notion that they didn't do a routine background check is...
That's why I said, this really sounds like one of our gigs.
Well, and that's one of the... Again, it goes back to common sense. One of the simplest things you would do, you take two listeners and put them together in some place where you have no control over it. There should be background checks done on everyone.
Yeah, let the first date happen at a radio station event. Let everybody just get acclimated, and then you're kind of on your own. And but that would be on the questionnaire. You rapist?
No.
All right, then.
I'm totally cool.
By cool, there's your woman.
Hell yeah. Oh, you meant... Oh, yeah. No, I'm not a rapist yet.
Okay.
I'm working on that.
No background check, no questions, no inquisition. You just stick the guy in a room with a chick and hope that everything plays out okay.
Yeah, and of course, it's great gig, great idea on his part. He has the radio station do the dirty work for him. I mean, and now
they're going to be liable for a big portion of this.
Yeah,
sure they are.
And she is suing WXLC and the station's parent company, Next Media, for more than $50,000.
Well, and the chances are also, even if he didn't have a background and he did this, she probably would still take some civil action against them. Because they set it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's suing for negligence and wanton and willful misconduct.
But what?
Doesn't she bear just, I mean, I know it's bad, but going to some guy's house you don't know, you've really never met.
You can't use that as a spin. There's no expectation to rape. But if you want to play that, I'll go ahead. I'll argue the other side.
I'm with you.
Go ahead.
No, never mind. I'm backing away from this one.
All right. That's a good point.
The angle he wanted to take was, ladies, expect to be raped, but hope for the best.
Well, you got to be partially responsible if you went over there. Is that what you meant?
No, I'm not saying she was responsible at all.
That's what I got out of it.
I'm just saying it was bad. I mean, you should use common sense.
Okay. So now you're going to say she deserved it.
No.
Well, I don't understand the argument then. And I never will. Good, man.
Ow, that hurt my side. A Florida teenager committed suicide before a live webcam audience.
Oh, hang on a second. Is that a chick on line one? All right, that goes along with what Trey's saying. And I got that, but I don't think most chicks don't expect the worst. Yes, Amy?
Yeah, I was just going to, agree with Trey. Of course you didn't ask for it, but as a woman, you're taught that you need to protect yourself. And, with the legality of the radio station aside, you just don't go to a strange person's house.
Well, and I also don't know if there was an initial meeting. They hung out for a while leading up to the first official date. I don't know what led up to this. But again, you're right. It's first dates always really need to be out in the open.
In public. And I know Trey kind of got it because he was a guy, but, as a woman, you're we don't feel like we can walk down a dark alley, whereas a guy might not be scared. We're just conditioned to think a little bit better about that.
Well, women aren't really known for just being aware of everything that's playing out around them. That's why, especially over the holidays, that's when you hear people getting nabbed outside of all of the stores. You're carrying crap, you're toting the kids, you're not paying attention. Right. Very seldom do you pay attention, or do you think the worst could possibly happen, and that's when they get pegged. And I don't know, especially if you're going to be the most vulnerable person in that parking lot, why you wouldn't be the most paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks. Because you never see these guys knock off other guys. They're always looking for somebody who's oblivious to what's going on, dealing with kids, carrying crap, and that's when they either get their purses nabbed or they get hauled off.
No, absolutely right, because there have actually been, not studies, but you've had, reports of... reporters will go and talk to criminals and say, what do you look for when you're about to mug somebody, rob someone, and all this? And that's exactly what they say. They say we look for someone who's not paying attention to anything around them. I'm going to hit the person that has no idea I'm 5 feet behind them.
It just happened at North Park last week. Some guy, someone was coming out, bunch of bags, followed her home, She pulled in, to her driveway. All of a sudden he jumps out at gunpoint, robs her.
Well, I wouldn't. I leave a department store. I watch the parking lot. But once I get in the truck and I lock the doors, I don't pay attention to who's following me. So that could happen to me as well. And I live in a state of paranoia.
And there are some, they've, come out with certain tips and things you can do to make it better for yourself. Like if you feel like the need, like you're coming out of a department store, ask one of the salespeople if they can find someone to take you to your car. And when you don't amass 40 bags, if you buy something, go to the car, drop it off, come back so you don't have 50 bags on you when you're leaving.
It's not like going to make any difference. But women just can't be conditioned just to be paranoid, and you have to. If you're going to be the first target out of any building, you just have to live in that world.
You're right. And for the ones that get it, they're the ones that usually see on the news having, stun gun some mugger or something like that.
Okay. How we doing, Club?
Freaking one.
Good.
All right. Florida teenager committed suicide before a live webcam
Did I
audience.
tell you guys about the skunk I attacked over the weekend?
No. Was this the same one as a couple of weeks ago?
I don't know. It's hard to... I don't want to sound racist, but I can't tell the difference. I was doing yard work late Saturday, so it was already dark. Mm-hmm. And I'm using the leaf blower in the front of the house. I go around the mailbox. There's one of our friendly neighborhood skunks. And we're probably 15 feet apart. Mm-hmm. He looks at me, starts to lift the tail. All I got's the leaf blower, so I hit him with it.
And?
Skunks don't like it when they get their own business back on them.
Oh, nice. So he wasn't about to spray. He had spray.
It looked like that was about to happen. So I hit all I had was a leaf blower. I hit him in the puss with 160 miles an hour wind, and it just, if anything came out, it went back on him.
That or you made him swallow it.
Sweet. God, I'm queer. Swallow my own.
I just gas-balled myself.
Here we break. All right.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
All right, Daniel, go ahead.
Okay, this last check of traffic is brought to us by Chicken Express and also by El Dorado Mazda. Right now, actually, everything's fairly smooth with the exception of your usual slow down, stop and go areas in Dallas, 635, 75, 35, Loop 12, Woodall Rogers, blah, blah, blah. Same as in Tarrant County, 35, obviously, usually kind of a mess. The only major problem going on right now up in Denton County, US 380 eastbound at Fish Trap Road. The two right lanes are closed due to a crash there, and that actually, it's not too bad, except for the fact you're slow for about a mile. All things considered. There's the last check of traffic. I'm Dan O'Malley on the Russ Martin Show.
Move out of the way, over. You don't have the weather ready, do you?
I did. Oh, wait, there it is. I had another wrong tab. My bad. We can expect mostly clear skies tonight with a low of a low of 37 tonight, high of 70 tomorrow, partly cloudy Wednesday. Can expect some light showers Thursday and scattered showers on Friday as well. Right now, it's about 58 degrees at Live 105.3.
Why don't you just do traffic from a cell phone so you can stand there at the mic while you're doing it?
Gotta save on the minutes, bro.
I know. What, Trey?
You made Gavin a happy camper. I haven't seen him actually smile in years. He said I guess you sent an email defending him to somebody and made him look really good and happy.
Gavin.
Yeah.
That was off the air. That was a private communique.
That was awesome. That's what
Nobody is supposed to be privy to any of that.
Oh, no. It was awesome. Thanks.
So is he going around telling everyone about it?
Yeah, he told me. I mean, he was like gushing.
There was a listener who sent an email chewing Gavin's ass on programming and just a plethora of crap.
Oh, you know,
like they knew Gavin.
Oh, okay. You know, that must have been something Gavin mentioned to me earlier, like about an hour or so ago, saying it's like, Dan, I got to show you something, but I'll wait till after the show. It's really cool, etc. That has to be it.
You showing the email?
Yeah, it was a cool email.
That's not for mass consumption.
It wasn't for mass consumption.
If I wanted people to know that I was going to stand up for you, I'd do it on the air.
I just told Trey about it, Dan, a couple others.
Did the guy send an apology?
He did send an apology.
All right.
What'd you say?
I just told him, because I give Gavin grief on the air doesn't mean that transcends to other people. He doesn't know Gavin. He's never worked with Gavin. There's no relationship there. What makes you think you could send an email calling Gavin an absolute buffoon? You wouldn't do that with any other corporation. I said, rewrite the email. And remember that you're sending it to a vice president of a corporation.
I can definitely see then why the gentleman would rephrase his email.
But again, that was just supposed to be between us, Gavin.
I didn't know that. I thought it was cool.
I can't have that perception floating around.
What perception is that?
He's right, Gavin. Russ has spent years trying to cultivate this image for himself, and you're trying to...
Well, it's not just the image that I'm talking about. It's the fact that I've defended Gavin on something that had nothing to do with this show, and now you actually talk to people about it.
So what's wrong with that?
I don't like that.
Why?
Because that's not my role on the show. Spin the wheel for Gavin, Trey.
No!
What?
No! Spin the wheel for what? For showing what a good guy you are?
That was a private communique.
Oh. No private communique.
None of us knew about it.
Breach of trust. I didn't tell anybody. I addressed one person. I stood up for you. I told them what you do, the grief you take, a role you've chosen on this show, and now you've decided to breach that trust.
I'm not breaching any trust. I just showed Trey, and I was going to show Dan after the show.
That email's got nothing to do with them. How dare you? Spin the wheel for him.
Really?
Yes! What do you got?
Come on down.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Which one is that?
Gavin will be playing the Price is Right.
No.
Oh, excellent.
No.
Love that one.
No.
And because I'm now Jewish, we'll be playing with Jewish items. We get one of them dreidel thingies?
Yes.
That's bad.
No.
Is that the one that you put up for Hanukkah?
No, that's menorah.
Oh, we get one of those? Put the candles in it and light them. So you can get everything together between now and 7. Congratulations, Gavin.
No.
All right, maybe you'll possibly rethink communications between you and me in the future and keep that between us. If I wanted somebody to know, I would either read it on the air or I would have posted it online.
You got to be kidding me.
I don't kid.
This is ridiculous. For 1 second, I thought, wow, this is cool.
All right.
So I got excited, and I showed people within the show, and this is what I get in return.
Well, that mistake certainly won't be duplicated.
No, it will not.
I mean, for me.
It's ridiculous.
That's my job.
Thanks for sticking up for me.
You're welcome. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And you're lucky nobody had time to run to Majestic and get a bottle of Mogan David. Weasel. All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dan.
Not a problem. A Florida teenager committed suicide before a live webcam audience after posting messages online about his plan to kill himself. Abraham Biggs Jr., who was 19 of Pembroke Pines, Florida, died on Wednesday. He was blogging between 3 and 4 a.m. on the 19th, Wednesday. All
right, hang on for a second. You already know the story?
I saw the headline. I haven't read it in detail, though.
All right, I think most people know the story. Dan, you can still read it. Sure. But the newest information that came out was from his parents, who couldn't believe that nobody tried to make an effort to try and save this kid. Even though he's in a room by himself with his computer,
right,
committing suicide. You got the parents 10, 15 feet away, no responsibility. People watching online, that's what he's pissed at.
Well, like they, first of all, know that he's serious, and secondly, know where he is.
And that was part of this. Well, go ahead and read it.
Okay. The family of a Florida teenager who committed suicide while people watched via a live web stream expressed their bewilderment yesterday that no one had tried to intervene. Police found the body of Abraham Biggs in his home close to Miami after someone watching the stream finally alerted the site moderator and police. Biggs was lying on his bed facing away from the switched-on camera. Biggs, who had depression, had entered a forum on a bodybuilding site 12 hours earlier to blog about his suicide plans. He accessed a video streaming site so people could watch as he eventually took a lethal dose of pills. During the saga, those watching alternately encouraged him, insulted him, and debated whether the pills would be actually enough to kill him. His sister said it boggles the mind. That's 12 hours of watching. They got hits, they got viewers, nothing happened for hours. We don't understand.
And I think actually some of the people online were trying to figure out where this kid was. But don't expect the people on the internet to watch your child. It's not a nanny cam.
Well, and actually it really brings up a certain thing as far as people online and their mentality, as far as the people watching this. I mean, they're watching someone kill themselves, and they're commenting on, is he doing it the right way?
They don't know if that's really what's going on. A lot of people use that just for some type of notoriety, or this is my stage, and I'm going to make as much out of this show as I can. I mean, how many times have I killed myself on the air?
All right, true.
Right. But so you don't really know if this kid is just playing it out.
Yeah, you're right. And Big's father,
if you're already depressed, having somebody send you a little text message that says, God, go ahead, that's not going to be the catalyst. You're already in that mindset.
No, you're right. And Big's father said his son was a good kid who had been doing better in spite of his problems. He criticized internet regulations.
So hang on. So the father was aware that this kid had gone through stages of depression while leaving locked up alone anywhere. There'd be no privacy. First thing you do is you take the door off the bedroom.
Well, and that's the thing. Actually, if I remember the story correctly, he actually did this in his father's bedroom.
So nobody was around.
No one was around.
Well, but here's the thing. If somebody's going to off themselves, you're not going to be able to stop them. Ultimately, they're going to be able to go somewhere the moment you're away. If you're at work, you're not looking. If they want to kill themselves, they're going to do it.
And whatever website this was, I don't know if it was like a Facebook or a MySpace or something along those lines.
It was a specific video streaming site where he actually did it.
And I'm sure the parents will go back and they'll hold them responsible, and there'll be some civil liability there, because there should be some type of software in place where you can monitor what's going on.
Right, and that's actually what the father goes on to do. He says he actually criticized internet
Why don't you
regulations.
think of yourself as a parent as the software to regulate what's going on?
Because they can't think in those terms. It's not their fault. It's the internet's fault for giving my son this avenue in which to off himself.
Here's the distinction, though. This is not a defective product. This is not some sort of product that's been marketed by a company that is in some way injurious or potentially injurious to someone. This is an intentional act in which this Abraham guy engaged. He did this on his own. So ultimately, he's got to bear responsibility for his actions. This isn't a case of negligence where somebody, ran into him negligently because they weren't paying attention. He did this himself.
I know, and that's where the absurdity of the lawsuit comes from, is it's a website that everybody else had used in a joyous fashion, no suicides. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to be held partially liable for what happened.
And that's very likely. And actually, I read in a story over the weekend, whoever was doing the story had talked to a depression expert. And they were saying that this type of thing, broadcasting live over the internet, someone killing themselves, is just the 21st century version of jumping off a bridge because they want it to be public.
I hate the fact that it was a kid, but if that's going to keep me from having to sit in traffic, I'll set up my own domain for something like that.
Offyourself.com.
As long as you don't sit on a bridge, eat up police fire resources, and have everybody sit in traffic and watch your dumb ass, and a lot of times they come down.
No, and you're right, because in this scenario, you put up the feed, people choose whether or not they get to see it. If you're sitting on an overpass, we don't get to choose that.
And how exactly did the father think somebody was going to ferret out where this kid was? I mean, it's hard to believe that as many hits that website had, none of his friends were watching this.
Well, when you're in a depressed state, who knows? Maybe he didn't have many friends, but the dad went on to say there seems to be a lack of control as to what people put out on the internet. There's a lot of garbage out there that should not be, and unfortunately, this was allowed to happen. And that actually goes back to what Everett said. They're going to do it. They're going to find a way to do it, whether they can stream it online or not. He's just trying to find some place to assess some type of blame, as opposed to where the blame ultimately should fall, which is his son. His son was the one that killed himself, not the internet.
And also, it was the fact that you knew that your child was going through, dealing with bouts of depression, and you didn't keep better tabs on him. As soon as I saw this story, I don't know what I did with the printout, but there's a list of different websites. They're like groups, suicide groups, just so they feel like there's some comfort committing suicide. I think it's popular in Japan.
Oh, there's like a suicide pact or like a suicide forum?
They watch each other commit suicide online. Ugh.
Wow.
That's insightful, Everett.
Thank you.
Now, you said you saw this is common in Japan, or is that where it started?
No, this is one of the things. I guess that's where it's making its groundswell.
It's a growing trend.
Yeah, because I believe in Japan it's still, like, if you're just...
Suicide rates are really high there.
Yeah, because if you're...
So now they're looking for company.
Well, that's an honor system in Japan. I mean, there are certain codes of honor that if violated, you feel unworthy to live and have to kill yourself if you follow the code.
That's a good plan.
You should adopt that over here in certain instances.
Yeah.
Maybe even help them out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
How are we doing, Club?
Cool.
Good.
Earlier this year, we learned that some athletes were taking Viagra to enhance their performance on the field, not just in the bedroom. And over the weekend, a New York Times story on research that could eventually, or a New York Times story came out on research that could eventually lead Viagra to be banned in sports. Viagra, this is their reasoning, can relax blood vessels throughout the body, improving oxygen flow to all sorts of muscles and enhancing an athlete's endurance, especially above sea level.
If I'm a wide receiver, I also don't want Viagra on the field.
Why?
I don't want to know that somebody's coming up behind me with a raging heart on. I never thought about that as far as an effective Viagra. Obviously, it increases the blood flow in general, but also to your penis, thus the engorgement.
Yeah, and I don't know if it would...
But I don't want my fellow players being engorged.
Well, there is that. But they actually even go on to say here, they have 2 studies going on to try to figure out Viagra's precise effects on athletes. Because like you said, it's supposed to help out with the blood flow all throughout the body. The immediate place you're going to think about as far as athletic usage is going to be endurance sports, cycling, marathons, running, all that stuff. Not to say it wouldn't help in football, but...
Well, it seems like it would help with weights. Because if you've got blood flow that's increased, then the blood's going to get to your muscles and it's going to speed up recovery.
It would speed up recovery. You could probably get even like in a weight workout, bodybuilder, football player, you can get more out of your workout because you got more blood pumping throughout your body.
I still don't want somebody coming up behind me.
Well, and that's just if they're chasing you. You haven't even factored in the dog pile scenario yet, where you got like 15 of them all running around for one thing. Dog ball.
What were you going to say, Eric?
Well, I can see the point of steroids. I mean, arguably you could say, steroids are bad for you. They do bad things to you. They cause cancer and death later in life and so forth. But when you're talking about Viagra, which as far as I know is pretty harmless.
Well, it's also over the counter, not over the counter, but it's legal.
Right. Performance enhancing, yes, but harmful in the long term. I haven't heard any evidence to suggest that it is. And you couple that with the fact that it's, as you suggest, Russ, readily available to the masses. Everyone can use it. What's the big deal?
Well, and really, that's where these studies trying to figure out exactly how much of an effect it would have on an athlete in the course of a sport. That's why it's important.
It's not illegal to have. It's not illegal to own. It's not illegal to have a doctor prescribe it for you. I don't know that you could take everything and just totally ban it from professional sports.
Exactly, right. And that's what I'm saying, because it's Viagra. Like, what happened, an older player may actually benefit from this in his personal life, but he just happens to be an athlete. He now can't take it because it's seen as performance enhancing. Well, duh.
Well, protein, it's performance enhancing. You can't drink powdered protein. What's the difference if there's no harm?
Well, the testing is going to be a lot easier for this, though.
Well, that's true.
How so?
Take a look at your stride down the field. Like this.
So the ball crossed the goal line, and so
technically we did win by penetration.
The quarterback sneaked
I
on
crossed the field of play.
Yes,
the line of scrimmage, the goal line.
First downs are a lot easier to make.
Now we really know he's excited in that touchdown.
People be getting recruited for football for entirely different reasons.
Good.
All right. And speaking of sports, with sports fans still getting used to their high-definition TV sets, the NFL is already thinking ahead to the next potential upgrade.
Hang on a second. Let me go back to the football. I didn't watch the game on Sunday. I know they won.
Yeah.
They look any better?
Yeah. Yes, looked very, very good, especially considering, certain aspects of the game where they didn't look so great against the Redskins.
Was there a big point spread and then the Cowboys allowed a couple of touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those. It was near the end of the game, and as most teams do, the defensive secondary tends to kind of play off a little bit more, not as aggressive. So, a couple late scores, but still 35-22. You beat a team. More importantly, they beat a team they were supposed to beat, and convincingly.
What about Romo?
Looked good.
Looked good. You can still tell he's having a little issue with that pinky and some control issue, but I think T.O. had just an enormous game.
He did. He had over 200 yards receiving, touchdown. I mean, it was
second best game in his career.
Now, and Pac-Man's not supposed to be back until next week?
Yeah, against the Steelers. He was back at practice, I believe, today.
And, God, Romo threw a pass to Jason Witten, our tight end, and he hung him up.
Go ahead.
And he took one of them.
What is that on television?
Oh, dear God.
Oh, no.
Which TV is that? Two?
Got a cross-dressing Jabba the Hutt.
What is... I know I always jump Trey's ass when he's distracted by what's on television, what we're talking about, so...
Looks like an egg in a wig.
No channel. What?
Was that TV too?
Yeah.
Osama bin Laden.
Well, it had to be bad. It was on the news. Back it up. Is that a spot for something?
I think it might have been.
That's a huge bitch. It looks like she's wearing a wig. She has no neck. And necklaces around where her neck used to exist.
They deliver. We've got you covered.
All right, that's a different commercial.
I would tell somebody who is thinking about transferring over to cable, be very careful with these introductory.
She looks like a seagull.
Or a pelican.
I think it's a threat.
Do you know how many cable men I've eaten?
How many?
I still have one I'm ingesting right here. Screw up my service. If you look into my mouth, you can actually see his little feet kicking. It looks like it's worse than John Goodman in drag. I don't know how else to explain it.
Her neck actually looks like she's got a severe goiter. I mean, it protrudes away from her chin.
And of all the people what is this, for Dish Network?
Uh-huh.
All the different happy customers you got, this is the only one that you could find?
Well, unless Everett's angle is accurate and they're using it as a threat, saying if you don't switch to Dish, he's going to come for you.
And I feel at this time like cable is the underdog, so they're trying everything they can to get new customers.
Yeah, that necklace is really going to be distracting. I certainly won't notice that thing on your shoulders.
Yeah, does she really want to call attention to her neck? Which is what that does.
Couldn't they have pinned it back for the commercial?
Or at least let whatever's in there go down.
Wait a couple of weeks for it to digest a little more.
That's beyond distracting.
The weird thing is her body doesn't seem like it matches the same size as her neck.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's been digitally enhanced where they took somebody else's head and shoved it on the body.
Yeah.
Customers with Dish Network, you get what you're hoping for, and there's a lot of options, and you can choose. Dish Network, provides the DVR, and that has changed my life. I live for that DVR.
It was delicious.
I know, covered in butter.
The service is outstanding. I never really get attached to each serviceman because he's normally gone fairly quickly. But they're always quite tender. That's not. It's going to draw me to the spot to see what the hell it is. But I'll have nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Actually, Cody sent me an IM, and I think he's hit it dead on. She looks like a bullfrog.
Yeah. All she's missing is where she climbed out of before she did that spot.
Yeah, a nice swampy bog, and then in the middle of the spot, a fly charge.
I went in close.
The poor cameraman. Did that just happen?
Oh, God. All right. What were we in the middle of?
I was just about to touch on the NFL starting to carry a game in 3D.
All right, go ahead.
On December 4th, a game between the San Diego Chargers and the Oakland Raiders at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego will be broadcast live in 3D to theaters in Los Angeles, New York, and Boston. It's a preliminary step on what is likely a long road to any regular 3D broadcast of football games, but According to Howard Katz, the NFL Senior VP of Broadcasting and Media Operations, the idea is a proof concept. We want to demonstrate this and let people get excited about it and see what the future holds.
Normally, the only time that you'd bring 3D into programming is if the programming was poor. So they're obviously worried about their future audiences. And I've seen 3D, David Pigeon at Star Power. They've got TV sets that will simulate 3D of programs that weren't shot in that. It doesn't look too bad.
Really?
But you can tell it's digitally enhanced. So I don't know if they're actually going to shoot this in 3D.
I think that's the plan.
So the same thing with the glasses? You're going to have
to... I guess so. I guess you'll have to. But if you think about it, it's a great idea in the sense of, even if they don't do it in the future for every single game, make it on a special occasion, like do the Super Bowl, and you can have those watching parties at theaters in 3D. That's an added revenue stream for the NFL.
Now, does it make a difference that it's live as opposed to pre-recorded and there's not the ability to enhance it before it's aired?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, if you have a movie, for example, that's filmed in 3D, presumably there's editing that occurs that enhances the 3D look. That would not...
You're taking a really long time to get to a question.
Is there a difference between live programming and pre-recorded programming when you're talking about airing something in 3D?
It depends if it was shot in 3D or it's just programming that's been digitally enhanced. Because digitally enhanced isn't really 3D. If it's shot in 3D, the way they used to shoot the old 3D movies is they would have two camera lenses about 2.5 inches apart, about the distance of human eyes.
Gotcha.
They'd shoot it that way, then you'd wear glasses. It would decode the image, and that's how you get the 3D out of it.
I see.
Is that the question you're asking?
More or less.
Thank you. Dan.
Yes, sir. Restaurants often claim to have low-calorie meals or things in their menus with half the fat, but a 2-month investigation back in May found that some restaurants making those claims aren't always serving up what they advertise. Now a customer has hired an attorney to put a restaurant and weight loss industry on notice. Applebee's and Weight Watchers are accused in a 27-page lawsuit of making low-fat claims about meals often loaded with fat and calories. This follows an ABC News investigation in May. They bought and tested 7 meals claiming to be low in fat and calories from Applebee's Weight Watchers menu, and the results were not always what the restaurant claimed they would be. While the calorie difference was slight, the fat was over on every item tested, doubling and even tripling in 3 of the meals.
Why would anybody be stunned over that? You're going to go into any restaurant, it doesn't matter if it's Applebee's or anybody else, unless they're really worried about somebody taking the food, having it analyzed, stick whatever you want to in it.
No, you're right. And it's one of those things where, like, I've actually ordered off that menu before. I'm not expecting it to be dead on, but if you're telling me something has 6 grams of fat, I'm willing to concede it may fluctuate, up to 2 or 3 grams above that. But they actually tested one of the menu items was supposed to, I think, have 6 grams of fat, and it came out with 18.6.
If you're really that worried about it, eating out, you've already lost. If that's going to be your only way to eat healthy, is to trust somebody else to fix it.
Well, it's not necessarily trusting someone else to fix it.
That's exactly what it is.
Well, no, it's like you don't not go out to eat, do you?
I know, but when I do, I still know that I'm going to be taking in more fat than if I fixed it myself, and I'm not going to look at the menu because I know that unless I sit back there and watch them, there's no way to mandate how they fix it.
No, but if they're telling you that they're doing that, then you take them at their word, because otherwise it's false advertising, and that's part of what they.
If you're really worried about what you're taking in, you shouldn't be eating out. There's no easy way around that one. People don't like that. They want to take somebody else's word for it. Unless you're going to do a lab test every time before you eat it, you don't know what you're taking in. Just go get drunk and eat it.
Well, and that'd be fine, except for the people that are telling you, no, we've tested all this stuff, and you're cool. You can eat this. This is within your Weight Watchers plan, or whatever it is.
Okay, well, how come I'm doing TV commercials for Dish Network?
Your body didn't look completely terrible. It's just that bullfrog throat you got going.
Well, I ain't totally swallowed.
Flies are not on our menu, damn it.
All right, go ahead.
All right. A group of Western Pennsylvania college
students. Do you have the story, the follow-up of the 7 days of sex? Because I know Channel 21 actually went out and talked to the
Ed Young.
Yeah, the Fellowship of Church. And they interviewed part of the, what do you call people in the congregation? People in the congregation. Asked them how it worked out. I don't want to know that. And either the Fellowship Church, they've got a decent-looking congregation, or they specifically shied away from people who don't need to have sex.
It's a younger, hip church. I mean, as far as churches go, it's kind of one of the places to be seen. So I saw Ed on CNN this morning. He was talking about, how great it was, but he got tired and he missed a day and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I don't know how they've milked this much coverage for something that, is not a groundbreaking thing.
Well, here's part of the audio. This may have Ed in it. We have time, Club?
Yeah. We sent TXA-21's Selena Hernandez to find out.
Just do it. It was the apparent mantra for couples at the Fellowship Church in Grapevine. This past week, married members were charged to practice an unorthodox gospel.
Today, we are talking about sex.
A week-long sex experiment where couples were encouraged by Pastor Ed Young to have sex every day. So were couples here good servants of the sermon?
Keep it going. Obviously not every day.
For newlyweds Amy and Cody Waddell, the challenge meant more than connecting physically, but emotionally. The couple tells us they've already hit...
All I know is if I was going to be forced to do that every day and I had other things I had to get to, I would be pissed off. Especially if somebody else isn't ready when I'm set to go. If I had a family and you've got kids and you've got to rework everything around the schedule, you go in and somebody's not instantly fixed, I'm going to be twisted. And that's going to cause communication issues.
But you're supposed to get them warmed up. It's not just a wham, bam, thank you, man. It's supposed to be...
Well, I'm ready when I get in there. I don't need cuddling, coddling, licking.
But they do. That was the whole, make you closer, spend more time.
Intimacy. All the things that you don't like. This was not directed at you.
You're not their target demo.
The church likes to include people, but in some cases, they got to know when to cut their losses.
Man, we went at it all week. We tried the purple mushroom, the flying camel, dog in the bathtub, the pink glove. That's when they're too dry and you pull out and it kind of sticks to it.
Oh, God.
We did the western grip, the woody woodpecker. It was a week-long event. We feel a lot closer. She likes fish eye, the Gaylord Perry, snowmobile, Dutch oven, rusty anchor, butt rodeo, grandpappy smash. We did it all. Thank you, Ed Young.
The Gaylord Perry?
I don't know. I think that one involves knuckles in a certain hole.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show.
You're unbelievable.
We're back to the Russ Martin Show.
Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. Your mama don't dance and your daddy don't rock and roll. But when evening rolls around and it's time to hit the town, where do you go? You gotta rock it, rock it.
So he's not explaining how Obama got in the White House. Because Manning said he was going to make sure that the election was going to go to John. Actually, he never said John McCain, just not to Obama.
Right.
He's not focusing on that. Now he's back to the
Obama producing his birth certificate or college applications.
Why do you need his college apps?
They want to know whether he, registered as Barack Obama or Barry Saturo, which was his Indonesian name.
Who cares?
Well, there's a constitutional issue.
In terms of what name he went by?
Well, if he entered as Barry Saturo, that means he's an Indonesian
descent.
No, it means he's a citizen of Indonesia, and if he was never repatriated, then he's not a United States citizen.
Why couldn't he enter under his Indonesian name and still be a citizen and just be going by that name at that point?
Yeah, I'm still a U.S. citizen. I changed my name.
Okay.
When I turned you. Do you know about that?
No, I don't. I think I'd remember that.
I decided to just explore different religions.
Really? And you're Jewish now?
Till the end of the year, right after Hanukkah.
So you get all the presents.
We get gifts?
There are 12 days of Hanukkah. You get gifts every day. It's much better than Christmas in that respect.
Yeah. All I had to do is turn my back on Jesus.
Sounds reasonable.
That's what I said.
And change your name.
Yeah.
What's your new name?
Mordecai Steamroller. Or Linda Diggler.
I like the Mordecai Steamroller.
Sounds festive.
It does. So how are you enjoying your new religion?
So far, I haven't really noticed anything different.
Are you doing anything to celebrate? Do you go to synagogue?
I haven't gotten that far into it. I'm having to learn Hebrew for my bar mitzvah.
Very nice. Are you wearing your hair any differently?
I got weaves.
Well, that should look nice.
Hang on. Is that right? Am I confusing my religions? The yarmulke with the weaves? Or is that Hasidic?
That's Hasidic Jews.
Okay, I haven't gone that route yet.
Oh, okay.
Then after the first of the year, I'm going to try Jehovah's Witness.
Very nice.
So I can network.
So you can network.
Get outside, get some exercise, get me a Schwinn.
Excellent.
Hit some houses.
Right on. Keep you off juries, too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't celebrate anything.
And they can never stand in judgment of anyone.
They don't believe in military service, and they don't serve jury duty.
You're right.
And did you just hear what he said? Can never stand in judgment of anyone.
Yeah, that may be problematic for you.
Why?
Well, because you tend to enjoy standing in judgment of others and things.
I just learned to keep it to myself.
Well, you can't do that if you're Jehovah's Witness. You cannot do it even internally. You have to just suspend judgment and not stand in judgment of anyone or anything, even in your heart.
That doesn't seem logical. You can look at somebody and judge them, and then you get to know them, and you realize that you've chose poorly.
Well, but it's God's duty to judge. Judge not, lest ye shall be judged. They take that one very seriously.
I thought that was all religions.
Well, but they tend to focus on it more so than most.
That's the Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yes.
But wouldn't they see that as more of, as long as you're making the attempt? Because they know you're not perfect. You're not going to be able to follow it at all times.
My understanding is that they cannot stand in judgment. I've had Jehovah's Witnesses end up on panels, and they always end up saying, I cannot stand in judgment of anyone or anything. And
they threw that in just to get out of jury duty.
Yeah. Well, they wouldn't all know about it. Unless that's what they talk about at church. Okay, you get picked for a jury.
Well, that's what I meant. They made that part of the religion so you don't have to go to jury duty. And you don't celebrate birthdays. There's no Halloween. There's no Christmas. There's nothing. No gifts. No celebrating anything.
Right.
Which is a lot better than being Jew.
You don't want to celebrate stuff?
You don't have to buy anything.
Well, yeah, but nobody buys anything for you.
That's not the point. I'm going to get all my gifts over Hanukkah, and then after the first year, I'm going to be Jehovah's Witness.
Excellent. And then re-up with the Jewish religion next December.
Yeah. I don't care about Easter. Trey said I don't get nothing for Easter if I'm Jewish.
Well, he's right.
Who'd you say would come by?
The Easter Jew?
Yeah.
What's he do?
He drops you off your Cadbury's. That's just a reminder that you forsake God.
Oh, okay.
I think you close the door, say, thank you, Eastern Jew, and you go on.
All right. Well, you got eggs out of the
deal. All right. Do we have everything ready for the prices right?
Yes, we do.
How many different items do we have?
Probably at least 10.
We should probably start now. Is everything in the hall that we need?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Slow down every day.
That's not Gavin. Gavin, you set?
No.
You going to do this or not? Because if you don't, I'm going to have dead air for 14 minutes.
Oh, great.
I got nothing else to say, and I'm all doped up on cold. Don't scream at me.
That's how we got into this mess in the first place.
Yeah. Somebody going to go out there?
Sure.
Get him the mic. Make sure everything's set up. Dan, will you go throw the Jewish items?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is the wireless mic on? Headphones? Hello?
Got the
Can you hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. Give the mic to Gavin. You there?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll my... Here we go. Dan, are you set?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And here we go. The first item up for bid, Manischewitz Pilaf Mixed Spanish Rice. No artificial preservatives, 100% all natural ingredients. All right, Gavin, come within 10 cents without going over. Hold on. How much?
$2.49.
Actual retail price, $2.19. Go ahead, Dan.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
We don't need to do this.
The next item up for bid, It's the Passover Gourmet by author Nira Russo. A noted Israel food columnist and teacher, offers 100 festive recipes from Jewish communities around the world. All right, Gavin, come within $2 without going over.
$22.99.
Actual retail price is $17.95.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, God.
That's a huge book.
That was a good one.
The next item up for bid. It's your own latke dish. Is that the way you say that? Is that right?
I think so.
All right. Your party and your latkes will be greatly enhanced, not that they need to be, by this festive frosted glass. Bowl and plate are decorated with stars of David dreidels and swirls. All right, Gavin, come within $5 without going over.
$17.99.
Actual retail price is $45.
Keep wincing. It'll make it so much more. Here we go.
Oh,
my bad.
Love being Jew.
Yeah, it seems like this game has gotten a lot more painful.
Dan, what do you have next? The chocolates?
What's that?
Chocolates?
Yes.
The next item up for bid. Delicious Hanukkah Gelt Milk Chocolate Coins. A box of 24 mesh bags of 5 assorted gold-covered coins per sack. 120 chocolates in each box. All kosher certified. All right, Gavin, come within $1 without going over.
$4.99.
Actual retail price is $15.99.
Jesus.
Oh, yes. Actually, there's no Jesus. Here we go.
This flinch is great.
Gavin, what are you doing?
This hurts.
Yeah, it's not a good game. Gavin, Dan, we're going to the DVD.
Okay.
Okay? The next item up for bid. It's Lamb Chops Hanukkah and Passover Surprise DVD. Yeah.
Quick question.
What?
Do you want this in the case or just the DVD?
In the case.
Okay.
Lamb Chop did a Hanukkah special?
Yes. It's Lamb Chops Hanukkah and Passover Surprise DVD. 2 programs on one DVD. Sherry Lewis, Lamb Chop, Charlie the Horse, and Hush Puppy affirm the spirit of the holidays in Lamb Chop's special Hanukkah, inviting all faiths to share in learning about and experiencing the warmth of the Jewish culture. Come within $1 without going over, Gavin.
$10.99.
Actual retail price is $19.99.
Jesus.
Close. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I'm not going to get any of these.
No. The next item up for bid, Manischewitz horseradish sauce. It's the creamy original, and it's kosher. 9.5 ounces, Gavin. Come within 50 cents without going over.
50 cents. $3.50.
Ooh. Actual retail price is $4.49.
God.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Oh. Sounds tasty. Didn't sound kosher.
No, not at all.
All right, Dan, you got the last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Just in time for the holidays, it's a new tie by Robert Daskell. It'll be the life of the Hanukkah parties and the talk of the office in this beautifully hand-painted, colorful silk tie. Bold design of multicolored dreidels and gelt against a black background. Wrapped around a can of mashug nuts. Mashug nuts or pecan halves baked to a golden crisp in a delicate cinnamon sugar spiced meringue and packed oven fresh and a colorful cartoon covered can. All right, Gavin, come within $2. That's the tie and the mashug nuts together.
$32.99.
Actual retail price is $86.95.
Yeah, for a tie?
And the Meshuggah nuts.
Oh, the nuts aren't that much.
I didn't hear it.
He felt it.
Do it again, Dan.
No, don't do it again.
Love the Meshuggah nuts. Goes back.
We'll be back to the Russ Martin Show. Contenders come and go, but there's only one afternoon champ. The Russ Martin Show. We're back to the Russ Martin Show.
All right, what else we got? I kind of peaked a little soon by hitting Gavin with Meshuggah nuts before the end of the show.
Still have the Manning audio if you want to.
Now, he's going off on Obama can't prove his citizenship?
Yes. And the deal is
why would this have been an issue when he was a senator? They would have been concerned with that at that point? Then again, I don't guess you don't have to be a born U.S. citizen to be a senator.
Correct.
Just president.
Yes.
Okay.
And the deal is, if you go to school in Indonesia, you have to be an Indonesian citizen. So the theory is that he became an Indonesian citizen.
He was a U.S. citizen, became Indonesian, and then you want to know if he came back and
repatriated.
Got it.
I'm going to make that long-legged Mac Daddy tell me where he was born and who he is and where he came from. I'm going to demand the truth. I'm going to demand the truth of him. And what I'm going to demand of him is that he show me his birth certificate. I want to see it. Now, he's been skirting around here and just skinning and flinting and jiving and running around here, and we don't know where that man was born. Besides, with all these court cases, there's a case in the Supreme Court, there's a case filed in Philadelphia, now there's cases in 10 courts, and just the other day, Alan Keyes has filed a case in the California Supreme Court demanding that the electoral votes, 55 all total, be not given to that long-legged Mac Daddy until he can prove that he is a U.S. citizen. Let's see where that's going to go.
Is there any possibility of this really playing out? It seems a little too fantastic at this point.
I agree. I
mean, Manning's got nothing else to focus on. He swore, he promised, he prayed, he said Obama would never be president of the United States. God wouldn't let it happen.
Well, see, he went back and he said that he is a man as a prophet. He said that, but that was him. That wasn't God. God just told him that, Obama was evil.
He misinterpreted what God said.
Right.
All right. So, again, you ask him the question. If you got that wrong, what else you missing?
No, he's still a prophet. He's even stronger now because now, he started his. You said something early on. I didn't think it at first, but now that he started this 2012, his new, election or new campaign, new political party.
I don't know. No clue what you're telling me.
You said early on maybe he really wants to be run for office in
Manning.
Yes.
Okay. You think he's setting himself up to run in 2012?
I do.
Based on what? He's never served anything.
Prison.
Oh. Well, according to him, that should be on your resume.
Uh-huh.
There's just too many court cases. There's too many cases before the Supreme Court of the United States of America. Cases all over America now. People are just saying, show us your birth certificate. Listen, Barack, if your birth certificate is what it is, what's the big deal? When the policeman stopped me and asked me for my driver's license, I don't go into a long tirade about when I first started driving and who my daddy was that taught me and what kind of cars I drive. I just produced a doggone driver's license. That's all.
Well, those are two different situations. The electoral college won't taser your ass if you don't show them your birth certificates.
Well, here's the other thing. Keyes doesn't really have standing.
But I think we all now wish they did.
Doesn't have standing as far as what?
As far as filing a lawsuit to make the electoral college not cast its vote. In order to file a lawsuit, you have to be an aggrieved party separate and apart from the rest of the state of California.
Well, of course you do.
That's all. Produce your birth certificate, man. That's all you got to do. Hasn't done it. Know why? Doesn't have one. That's why. But Alan Keyes can legitimately say that he has been injured by this man. And the California court has to respond. Has to respond.
All right, Everett, that's your contention is Alan Keyes hasn't really been injured.
Not to any greater extent than anyone else in the state of California, and hence he doesn't have standing to file the suit. It would be
why wouldn't just the courts in general want to see a birth certificate?
Well, they may, and there likely is some sort of remedy, but that's not it. It would be as if you and Dan got into a car wreck.
Well,
and I sued
just
Dan.
stay focused on this because your analogy is going to confuse me.
Okay.
Why wouldn't somebody have asked for this a long time ago? And why wouldn't the court system actually say, you know what, just so people will feel at ease, show us your birth certificate?
Well, I don't know this, but my guess is this would have been an argument that would have been said a long time.
Because you ain't got one.
No, I've got one.
You just tell me where you were birthed.
No,
where were you born?
My wife's got my car.
Your wife ain't got nothing. You ain't got no birth certificate.
It's in the glove box.
And Obama was elected president because nobody paid heed to what I told you. I told you better. You are forsaking God Almighty. God, whose name is Earl. Now Obama's in the White House, and the fall of the country's going to start. But as your pastor and the guide of your spirituality, I'll be there to say, look what you did. You did this. Inflation's going to double. Look what you did. We're destined for hell, condemnation. I warned you, God. Look what you did. Obama can't get us no birth certificate because they don't give birth certificates to wolf babies.
This dude had to stop. So you think he can get in office without ever coming up with any paper?
He seems to be well on his way, doesn't he?
All right. What? Just birth certificates for wolf babies. You ready to go, Scott? All right.
Go ahead, Dan. For more information on the Russ Martin Show, including pictures, videos, so much more, go to russmartin.com. To answer any questions you may have about the show, go to russmartin.info. To email the show and during the show only, send that to studio@russmartin.com. Other show websites, johndavidryan.com, danO'Malley.com, djclo.net, and treytrenholm.com. To reach Everett Newton, the rock and roll attorney, call his office at 214-823-LAWS or his website, dallasattorney.com. The official liquor store of the show is Majestic Fine Wine.
I know Obama is a wolf baby. I've seen outside his house many times, listening to him to play that Black Sabbath out of Bark at the Moon.
MajesticLiquors.com, as if you didn't already know that. And the official site for Live 105.3 is, of course, live1053.com.
All right, see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
You can now listen to The Russ Martin Show anytime you want on the web at russmartin.info.
Martin Show.